resonating with a lot of people, and he's just echoing that sentiment.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the other big news is that supposedly Trump is considering a return to Twitter.
Yeah. And possibly even Facebook.
Where are we with that?
Do you want him to go back on Twitter?
Well,
do we want him posting on his own behalf?
This is my question on this, because for our show, yes, absolutely, I want Donald Trump back on Twitter. I want him to have a lifetime VIP membership on Twitter. However, for the betterment of Donald Trump, and if indeed he does somehow become the Republican nominee for president, I'm not sure that would be the best thing for him, because self-control is not exactly in the Trump vernacular. And I think, again, the less you see Trump, the more you might be apt to say, well, maybe it wasn't so bad under Trump. The more you see Trump, the more people get reminded why they didn't want him.
Originally, I thought, okay, no, he should turn that account over to somebody else and have them post on his behalf. But the more I thought about it, because that's what Joe Biden does. When you see a tweet come out from the White House, you just know it's a staffer who's posting that, and it's just watered down. It's very vanilla.
Sure.
But with Trump, I kind of like the idea that the words are coming from him, kerfuffle and all.
I do.
You know that it's him that is speaking and not some lackey.
I agree. But he does not have that sweet spot of, like, between the porridge being too cold, which is Joe Biden, and the porridge being too hot, which is Trump. He's incapable of dialing it down, and somebody needs to save him from himself, right? I am talking from a purely, look, this is what the American people have now repeatedly said at the ballot box.
Mean tweets.
I'm not saying it's right. I certainly don't vote that way. I certainly don't vote whether things are going to hurt my feelings or what some guys mean on Twitter or whatever. I vote on the policies and how they affect me and my family. But the reality is that the American people have said they have had enough of the Trump routine. And we all know, I mean, especially after he came and said, I'm not going back. Okay, that's great. Good for you. You're not going back. And on your Trump Truth Social, whatever, like 7 people can see you. So that's even better. But you know, once he gets back on there, it's going to be the same dog and pony show.
He won't have the self-control that's needed.
Exactly.
Elon Musk said that he thinks the Biden administration might try to weaponize federal agencies against Twitter if Trump returns to the platform.
All right, Casey.
Yeah.
I want to take a break.
Okay.
And then when we come back, Hammer and Nigel play that game of Am I a Horrible Person? And so I have a question about if wanting to do something, and I'm going to do something, if this makes me a horrible person.
Okay. That's on the way from 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
The greatest national anthem of all time, track and field star Carl Lewis.
And the Rockets.
Uh-oh. Now, Nigel, I don't have a Grammy Award. I am not someone who's a professional singer. I don't think you're supposed to say uh-oh in the middle of your song.
I'll make up for it now.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and to preserve your wealth, I highly recommend keeping physical gold in your retirement account. To learn more, text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold, which is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text SHELTER to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
Selling homes in today's market is tougher, but the outlook is improving. Interest rates have lowered and homes are selling. If you have been on the sidelines, now may be the time to sell. Talk to the agent I trust and recommend, Mark Dietl. Maybe you're worried because you missed the boat on selling for maximum price. With Mark Dietel, there are no required costly repairs. Pick your move date. Stay in your home after the sale stress-free while you close your dream home. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Listen to what Chris and Carly in Indianapolis had to say about working with Mark Dietel. Jobs and life had us moving out of the country. We were excited, but our home was not an easy sell, so we were stressed selling. We knew Mark Dietel would guarantee our home sold, so we called them. As promised, our home was listed and sold in the time frame we needed. Call the agent I trust and recommend for the details. Mark Dietel guarantees an offer in 3 days for full market value or it's listed for free. Call Mark Dietel 317-755-4232 or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-200-1966. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
For your free system replacement analysis, give Family a call today at 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
That guy's brain is a bag full of cats. You could smell crazy on him.
And Casey Daniels.
If she were a president, she'd be Abraham Lincoln.
On 93 WIBC.
You lucked out.
Yes.
It was going to be Harry Chapin Day. Well, that's a terrible thing to say. You didn't luck out the day Crosby died.
That was awful.
But you're still getting Harry Chapin Day.
Okay. Thanks for the warning. Instead, we'll focus on the birds and Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. It is 21 minutes after 9. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Let's take a look at some trending stories. After 23 seasons, Mike Bray, the winningest coach in Notre Dame men's basketball history, has decided that this season will be his last.
Okay, so you're the residential Notre Dame expert because you lived all those years in South Bend. So don't be...
Have I met Mike Bray? Yes, many times.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. What? And I don't mean to be mean because I know you love Notre Dame athletics. Nobody cares about anything Notre Dame that isn't football.
You don't think so?
If you 23
years, the winningest coach in Notre Dame history.
Nobody cares. I mean, I'm not. It's notable he hasn't won a lot of games, but I'm saying, and this is a debate I've seen going on many various sports networks, etc., which is they're trying to make this out like it's a big deal, and the average person would not be able to pick Mike Bray out from Mike. I'm drawing a blank on any other famous Mikes.
That's a really long tenure, 23 years.
It is. I get it, but it is like, here's an example. For years and years and years, they've tried to make IU football relevant. And they have kind of like discarded the basketball program or tried to make it is equal to everything else. It's never going to be that, right? Like IU basketball is always going to be king, and it's ridiculous the university ever tried to make it not king. Same thing at Notre Dame. I understand they have a great hockey team. I understand they have numerous times had a great baseball team. And if your child plays hockey or baseball at Notre Dame, you should be very proud. Nobody cares. And in basketball, it's like you are just killing time in between football seasons if it's Notre Dame.
It is so cold at basketball season up there, too.
Oh, I bet it's terrible.
Walking into the Joyce. Oh, my goodness. But do you know what Mike Bray used to do before practices?
What?
He would go get a Starbucks and smoke a cigar.
Well, look, the guy won a lot of games, and he had... Well, look, Digger Phelps was a great coach, too, who was the coach before... Mike Bray, right? I'm sure there was a coach in between. You'll have to excuse me. I'm not an expert on Notre Dame basketball history, but let's face it, it's not like, well, this was a program no one had ever heard of, and then Mike Bray lifted it up out of the ashes of awfulness. I mean, Digger Phelps was a phenomenal coach who won all sorts of big games. And my favorite thing when I was a kid, Casey, was Coke had a local commercial that ran, I'm sure, just only in Indiana. And it was like, Bob Knight was for Diet Coke. Gene Katie was for Coke. I may have switched those up. And Digger Phelps was Sprite because Notre Dame was green. And there was some commercial where they were all in it together and you picked your favorite team. And I don't know where I was going with that. I just wanted to mention that because I enjoyed seeing that commercial when I was a little kid.
Well, speaking of Coke, Culver's, the restaurant, says that the restaurant chain is switching from Pepsi to Coke products.
Okay, so this is interesting.
However, Dr. Pepper remains.
Okay, this is interesting because Culver has terrible soda, and I don't know if it's the carbonation or the syrup
it's the
or whatever.
Pepsi.
Yeah. No,
I know you're a Pepsi fan.
Yeah, Pepsi's fine.
I'm so excited about this because I like Culver's a lot. It's my favorite fast food burger joint. And they're switching to Coke, which is my flavor.
Yeah, but like when I go to the Brownsburg Dairy Queen, I make the mixed drink. What do they call that? That's a suicide, right? I don't have that problem. I go to the Culver's and it's awful. And so I don't know what the deal is with Culver's. So I'm worried for you, Casey. I know this is your thing. You're going to have the terrible experience with Coke that I have had with the Pepsi at the Culver's.
I'll let you know if it turns out good.
Okay.
Okay? But they will be keeping Dr. Pepper because it's a completely different distributor.
Oh, that's wild.
Finally trending, Monica Lewinsky. She was marking 25 years since the Clinton scandal. 25 years. How is she doing it? By writing an essay for Vanity Fair about all of the lessons that she's learned. 25 minutes after 9. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So we alluded to this with the bumper music. Of course, David Crosby, it was announced that he passed away. He actually passed away on Tuesday, I believe. Wednesday, 2 days ago. He was 81 years old. His wife released a statement saying, "It is with great sadness after a long illness that our beloved David Crosby has passed away." And that surprised a lot of people because he was still very active on his Twitter account just earlier this week.
Yeah, he had done this weird thing where about a year ago or whatever, he had declared himself, I'm too old to tour anymore. I'm going to keep making music. Then he came back and said, I recant that. I want to get back out on tour again. And then they described it as a prolonged illness, but people were like, prolonged illness? He was still throwing grenades on social media, a couple days ago. So very odd. I will say the Byrds, now, and I'm not speaking ill of the dead when I say this, but I don't give any credit for the Byrds because they just covered a bunch of Bob Dylan songs. So I'm moving the Byrds out of this equation. I know that's going to light some people's souls on fire, but the two best Byrd songs are My Back Pages and Turn, 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 which are Bob Dylan songs. So sorry, that doesn't count. You were just good singers. However, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and then later Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, yes, obviously phenomenal, one of the upper echelon of all-time recording groups.
Yeah, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice. And now I posed this question to you last night, and I never got an answer, so it leads me to believe that you didn't know the answer.
I probably wasn't paying attention.
Turn, 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 number one song, right?
Yes.
There's been one other song that went to number one on the charts that repeated the same word in the title. like Turn, Turn, Turn. Do you know what the other song was?
Did you actually ask me this last night?
I did.
I don't recall this at all.
I'm sure you blew me off accordingly.
Well, I don't. Here's the problem. When I get in a group text with you guys, there just starts too much stuff just keeps coming at me.
It's a lot of nonsense,
and I can't keep up with all of it, and then I just lose interest. So I'm sorry if I missed that last night. I have no idea. What is it?
Say, Say, Say.
Is that Ringo?
Paul McCartney.
Oh, Paul McCartney. I was
Michael
close.
Jackson.
Oh.
Turn, 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 and Say, Say,
That's
Say.
That's some incredible data.
There you go.
Hey, speaking of what else is incredible, well, we've got Kurt Darling with the news coming up. He's not in the booth yet, so I assume he knows he has the news coming up.
Yeah.
And then
yes,
we got a great guest. The guy, I think it's safe to say, the only guy who is universally beloved in the State House, Matt Barnes.
How does he do it?
Matt Barnes, who is the chaplain at the Indiana State House, will be our guest. He is the greatest guy in the history of ever, and he'll be with us to talk about praying for people who, some of us might go, well, that's difficult to pray for that person. Not for Matt.
All right. That's on the way from 93 WIBC.
Home shows provide homeowners the deepest discount of the year on remodeling projects. And right now, Window Nation is bringing the home show savings right into your house. 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, no limit. Plus, pay no interest for 60 months.
Use their free virtual visualizer at windownation.com/home show. Upload a picture of your house and try out hundreds of options online. Get design tips from the experts and learn how Window Nation's trained installation specialists have helped over 150,000 homes with over 96% customer satisfaction rates. But remember, these once-a-year home show savings are for a very limited time. Call Window Nation today, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com/home show. Get 2 windows free with every 2 that you buy. Pay no interest for 60 months. That's 5 full years. 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com/home show.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-200-1966. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-200-1966. That's 800-200-1966. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Over 1 million people would like to quit.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
More in tech are losing their jobs. 34 degrees and cloudy skies today. I'm Parker Carlson. Here's what's trending at 9:31. And more job cuts for the technology sector. Alphabet, the parent company of Google, announced today that they're cutting 12,000 jobs. That's over 6% of their total workers. This comes after Microsoft also announced recently that they're cutting over 10,000 of their jobs. Both companies cite troubles in the economy for their cuts. President Biden said yesterday that he, quote, has no regrets on how the classified documents were handled. Those documents were found in his former office and in his home, but the Biden administration didn't report that they were there for 2 months. Your live market update at 93 WIBC. The Dow Jones is down 18 points to 33,121. The S&P 500 is up 8 to 3,923 points. And the NASDAQ gains 70 to 11,427. I'm Parker Carlson on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
People who suffer from arthritis are getting real pain relief with exciting biologic therapies at QC Kinetics.
The success rate is there, and there's no better way to treat yourself when it comes to dealing with pain.
Meet Tyler Vale, co-founder of QC Kinetics, who says they can't cure arthritis, but they can treat the pain.
If you think of the tide coming in and out on the beach and what it does, it erodes the sand, right? Can't stop the tide, but eventually when the sand or the beach gets bad enough, and we backfill that beach with sand so that we get generations of enjoyment with that beach again. And the same thing happens with your knee or your shoulder or your hip or your back. We want to backfill the problems that have happened to this point. I'm not stopping the tide, so I'm not stopping the arthritis, but I want to get generations of enjoyment out of those joints again.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Learn more about how restorative biologic therapies can get you real and lasting joint pain relief.
Call QC Kinetics 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC, it is the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob, Casey's here. And you know, Casey, we've been trying to find more positivity on the show lately. And that's a little hard sometimes when we talk about state government, but I've really, in a kinder, gentler me, have looked to find the good in what goes on down there. And well, there's one guy.
It's a very noble effort.
Well, thank you very much. I really am trying to grow in the new year. But there is one guy who has found a way, and when you meet this guy, you're going to say, well, that was pretty obvious, who is like universally liked over at 200 West Washington.
Are you talking about the vending machine guy?
Well, he might be universally liked too. Also the guy that keeps me out of the State House on the security detail. But this guy, his name is Matt Barnes. He is the chaplain at the Indiana State House. Matt, how's it going?
It's going well. I don't know. Walter at the vending machine guy may be more popular than I am. You may be correct, Casey.
His name is Walter?
His name's Walter, yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
I got more out of this interview than I ever expected.
So now a bunch of people are going to go to the State House on Monday when they're back in session and go, hey, where's Walter?
Where's Walter?
So tell us, Matt, tell us what the chaplain does at the Indiana State House.
Well, the chaplain, basically it's like a pastor at a church, but my folks that I love and care about are in that building. And I've been there this is my 19th session, Rob. And so I've been there since 2004. And so, yes, I am now old enough to where now when people come in, I help show the legislators where the bathrooms are and everything. So I just try to be that person to help. I'm there to help. But it's a little bit of a flip on the old Reagan quote. I am not from the government, but I am here to help.
And I've seen, because we were friends on Facebook, you actually had a full head of hair when you started.
Rob, I didn't know if you were going to bring that up. Wow, yes. When it's exactly right.
You know what, Matt? So did he.
Well, but clearly radio must be a little better than in the political arena because you somehow figured out how to keep it.
Well, thanks to We Grow Hair Indy. It was none of it was mine, Matt.
Hey, I was setting you up. That was your softball, my friend.
You were great. Matt Barnes, he is the Indiana chaplain at the Indiana State House, is our guest. So this is so cool how you became the chaplain. I love this story. Tell.
Yeah, so it's not unlike my friend. When I first started in 2004, I had a friend in Kentucky, and I called him up, and I was like, how did you get started in this? He said, well, I walked in, I told him I was the chaplain. They believed me, and I stayed. Now, that is not what I did, but that's what he did. When I walked in, I just started asking people, hey, can I speak with the chaplain? They're like, well, we actually don't have a chaplain in the Indiana State. We've never had a chaplain in the Indiana State House, but we have this really nice chapel room. And so we are the first state house in the nation to have a chapel room set aside inside the building. And so I went up to that room. They gave me a list of all 150 legislators. I didn't know a single one of them. I walked up to that room and began to pray for every one of them by name. And God just gripped my heart with the burden to get to know them and how I could pray for them better and how to pray for them personally.
Matt Barnes, he's the Indiana State House chaplain, is our guest. So were people like, what are you doing here? Like, did people walk in on you? And at what point did people say, I can't believe you're praying for that guy. He's done X, Y, and Z wrong?
Well, first of all, Rob, I have yet to find an elected leader in the state of Indiana who wants to destroy the state of Indiana. I have yet to find them. Everybody wants...
I got a list, right?
No. Here's the thing. Everybody wants to do something good. We just disagree on how that good may occur. But nobody comes in there saying, I just can't wait to destroy the state of Indiana. And so, yes, there were hiccups along the way because clearly I am a nobody. I just walked in off the street just to say, hi, how can I pray for you? Didn't know a soul. I was 27 years old at the time. Thankfully, my hair was receding, so they thought I was a little older. And I wore a suit. But yes, the very first Bible study I attended, there was a Bible study for legislators there, and the first one I attended, I was kicked out of. And they're like, who are you? And I'm like, well, I'm just Matt Barnes, and I was invited by a senator to come, and they're like, that's nice, but this is for legislators only, and so we're going to ask you to leave. I had never been kicked out of a Bible study before. That was a whole new experience.
Well, imagine that.
Can you imagine?
It happens at the State House.
And that's the most Indiana government thing ever, and I know you can't say this, so I will, that the guy's here to pray for you, and they say, nope, out.
Yeah, but Rob, you know this as well as I. Everybody that walks in the State House, some people are just different, and they just looked at me like, who are you?
So, Matt, is this like a full-time gig? You're there all the time? You're there only when they're in session? And what do you consider to be your responsibilities?
No, that's great. I am there year-round, and so what we do is we have a Monday morning prayer time every Monday morning. Anybody's welcome before hours, and then we have several lunchtime Bible studies, and then through the week we're also just meeting, whether it's in session, we're there about, it's almost, we live there. And we have a team there, and I have a colleague, Pam Russell, there, our chaplain there as well. And so we have a whole team, and what we do is we just care about the whole person there. And as you might imagine, there are a lot of pressures and stressors there at the State House, and whether it be from staffers to legislators. And so we want to come alongside them and just listen. So many times there are things that happen in their lives they're not able to share publicly, or even maybe with a lot of people back home. And so we are that pastoral care that's able to listen, and things stay in the locked box with us.
Tell us how you're kind of funded, because you have a lot of outside help that does not involve the taxpayers.
Well, we have zero taxpayer help.
I knew you were going to say that. I love it.
Well,
I understand now why you're Rob's favorite. Connecting the dots, it all makes sense.
So, and that's why I was alluding to that old Reagan quote. Yes, we are not funded by state government. We feel like that if God wants work to happen in the State House, then God will pay for it with God's people. And so people across the state of Indiana chip in, and we don't even fundraise. We just go out and share with people what we do. They find value in it, and they keep sending us back there year over year, and it's quite an honor and a privilege.
Do you find that there's maybe one particular person or people that you pray more for?
There was a senator, he said...
Is it wrong to ask a chaplain to spill the tea?
It's a good question. In fact, one senator, he told me one time, he says, Matt, you minister in this arena here, and there are more sinners per capita in this building. And I did have to gently correct him that Scripture says all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So it was a gentle correction. But yes, there are many needs. And quite honestly, Casey, it's a great question, because these are people. Politicians are people. And they hurt, they feel, they bleed the same as you and I. You just heard the story out of Florida with the congressman who he was cutting a limb out of his tree.
Stubby, right?
Yes. He was cutting a limb, and he fell, and he was in intensive care the past couple of days. Mm-hmm. Those types of things happen because these are people. You just this morning, the Martin Carbaugh out of Fort Wayne, Representative Carbaugh, there was someone in his neighborhood. It was a murder-suicide, and he had to tell his kids that your friend, is he's not coming back. And just those are the things. So I was texting with Representative Carbaugh this morning. Those are the things that we do as a chaplain team, caring about the people, the things you may not see on the news.
So you are the most important person there, it sounds like.
Oh, no doubt. And he's also the most likable. Mm-hmm. And he's done the least amount of damage. Sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
You guys are way over the top. Hyperbole much here, guys? No, I just want to serve. I want to help, and that's what our team wants to do. So we do lots of events. Just last week, Rob and Casey, we had a State House prayer service, the 19th annual State House prayer service, where we had hundreds, literally 500 plus Hoosiers came to the State House to pray with their leaders and for their leaders. And so we had different folks praying. At the leaders of all three branches of government prayed from the podium at that event. And it was just an amazing thing that in Indiana, we can do one thing together, at least at the start of session, the very first day. We can all pray together anyway.
Matt Barnes is our guest. He's the chaplain for the state of Indiana. Okay, so how do people give to you? Like, what is there? Is there a website, or like, what do they do?
We do have a website. It's called thepsp.org. Our organization.
What is it?
We called it Public Servants Prayer, and so the website is thepsp. So thepsp.org. And on that website, what you're going to see right away, the main page when you pull it up, is 3 leaders to pray for. We give you their faces and their names. We do not share their party. Now, what? I don't want prayers to be too biased, and so we just pray for them out. We go through them alphabetically. And several years ago, we obtained the data on all 8,000 legislators nationwide. So on Public Servants Prayer, on DPSP, you can go to any state in the nation, 3 leaders to pray for every single day. So it's every day, every legislator, every state. And we're praying for them. So we're changing the tone of politics, at least the tone of Christians and their leaders, through prayer. That's our goal. So thepsp.org. It's a great question, Rob.
And I saw Matt the other day out and about, and Matt was on my community radio show that I had years ago. And Casey, I was so sweet and innocent back then. And I asked Matt, I said, would you like to come on our show now? And his eyes got great big, and he said, of course, Rob. Of course I'd like to come on. Yeah, where do you see the future of the chaplain service in the State House? I assume you're always saying, hey, we'd like to do this better, we'd like to do that better.
Absolutely. We're looking at the different demographics of the State House, just like any pastor would. And so what we're looking at, we brought on a women's chaplain. We just recently, that was 12 years ago, and Pam Russell is an incredible chaplain there, and brought on an executive assistant a couple years ago. But then we just brought on this past year a judicial prayer director, because we can interact fairly frequently with elected leaders. They're in the hallways, they're standing for election, they're interacting with people. The judicial branch is necessarily a more secluded branch, and so we brought on a lady. Her husband, Vicki Moffmer's husband, was a judge in Cass County for many, many years, 19 years, I believe, before he passed away tragically. And so she has now joined us as our judicial prayer director, and so she is specifically reaching out to the judicial branch and letting them know, hey, we care about you as well. And talk about being in a locked box. Whatever conversation she has, stay right there. And she's doing a great job. And so we're just looking at the different demographics. Today, we're going to go over and we have our Bible study at noon. And then we're going to be speaking to the staff and just sharing with the staff. As you know, there are a lot of young people there. And there are a lot of stressors. So we just want to be that person that says, hey, we care about you, and if we're here to help you. So we're speaking today at staff meeting.
Matt Barnes, who is the chaplain at the State House, is joining us. And before we let you go, I would like to impose something, put you on the spot if I can.
Sure, that won't be the first time.
I'm hoping that maybe you can give the Kendall and Casey show and our listeners a quick prayer or blessing.
Oh, well, I would be honored to do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Casey. Rob, are we wrapping up here?
Yes.
I really was. Go out. That is a high note. Mm-hmm. We'll do that.
If you want to also throw in something about property tax reform in there, that'll be fine too.
Pray for that.
Go ahead, Matt.
And for Rob. This congregation.
Yes, definitely. There's a congregation everywhere. I will certainly. I'm honored to. Thank you, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Father God, we come before you. Thank you for this opportunity just to share with the people across the state of Indiana, a state that you love. You care about these people in the sound of my voice. Lord, I do thank you for the people that serve right down the street. And while we may have disagreements, we all recognize that we are created in your image. And so, Father, I pray for this show as well. I pray for Kendall and Casey. Lord, I pray that you would help them as you would give them your words. And in your word, it says, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O God, my strength and my Redeemer. Amen.
Matt Barnes, the website, one more time if people want to help out, because the work you do there is phenomenal.
Thank you, Rob. It's thepsp.org, thepsp.org.
Matt Barnes, thank you, my friend.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show Beer Sample Friday. We've been waiting for it all week. It happens today, 3 to 7, 93 WIBC.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday morning at 8. Learn the answers to frequently asked financial questions and get the latest investment news to help you get the most of your money. Visit creativeplanning.com/radio.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-200-1966. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
What's it like having next-gen supersonic Wi-Fi from Xfinity? Well, it's ready for major gig speeds. So it's fast, like riding a cheetah fast. And with 3 times the bandwidth, the gaming never has to end. Plus, Xfinity supersonic Wi-Fi has the power you need to connect hundreds of devices at the same time. Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Learn more about our next-generation Wi-Fi technology from Xfinity to do more of what you love online. Or, now through January 21st, new customers can get started with 75 megabit internet for only $20 a month for 12 months. Plus, there's no annual contract required, so it's risk-free. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hey, it's Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. It's our 96th annual New Year's sale. Save 50% plus 24 months interest-free financing on all Lazy Boy and Indiana-made Smith Brothers to Burn. Plus, take an extra 10% off for cash. Queen Tempur-Pedic mattresses start at $50 per month. Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus with free delivery.
Good morning. It is 10 minutes in front of 10. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, featuring the music of David Crosby all morning long. Would you like to take this opportunity now?
Yeah, how I was right, and people want to try to be smart, and I was still right. The premise of what I was saying was still right.
The premise,
the reason I said it was still correct.
Yeah.
So I had said that the birds, we can play the birds, it's fine, but I don't give the birds a lot of credit for anything because their best stuff was cover. My Back Pages, which was a Bob Dylan song, and I inadvertently said Turn, Turn, Turn was also a Bob Dylan song. It was not. It was a Pete Seeger song, but the premise is still the same.
That it was not written by the
They
birds.
just took someone else's work and did it for themselves. I don't get that no credit for that.
Okay.
So people trying to, got him. I was still right. It wasn't their song. Doesn't matter whose song it was before. It wasn't your song.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Let's talk about this LIV golf tournament. They've reached a TV deal, and that puts the Saudi-backed tour on the air. I know you're excited about this.
So this is my question for you and Kevin of, does this make me a horrible person? Because I will totally. So the LIV Golf is the group that's backed by the Saudi Wealth Fund. They have paid some of the best golfers in the world exorbitant amounts of money to leave the PGA Tour and go to this tour they've started. They now have a deal with the CW network, which, okay, that's not CBS, it's not NBC, it's not ABC, but you will still, most homes will be able to gets the CW network, and you'll be able to watch this. I will not only watch this, I will enjoy watching this. And so my question to you and Kevin, knowing who is funding this, should I feel bad that I'm going to enjoy watching this? Because I'm not enjoying watching the Saudis. I'm enjoying watching
the golfers,
the guys who I had previously enjoyed watching when they were on the PGA Tour. Yet we are now made to believe that anything that has anything to do with Saudi Arabia, you're a horrific person. So am I a bad guy here?
No, you're supporting the sport and you're supporting the golfers.
Yeah.
You're not supporting the Saudis.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think. Kevin.
Are you in love with the game
of golf?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not in love with the game. I enjoy the game of golf.
I say you watch it.
Yeah, that's because I want to see Bryson DeChambeau hit a 350-yard drive. I want to see Cam Smith, who just won the British Open, play golf. I enjoy seeing these guys do the game that better than anybody else in the world. Now, there are obviously still great players on the PGA Tour, but everything now is, it's like if we don't like the country that it involves, you should feel like a terrible person for enjoying it. And I don't think I should feel bad for watching the same guys that just a year ago I was enjoying watching on the PGA Tour.
Yeah. Don't punish yourself.
This is not the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia that I'm enjoying watching play golf.
Right.
Why should I feel bad about who's signing their check? They're still doing the same thing. And the thing about the LIV Tour is they're playing a bunch of courses that previously haven't had tournaments.
Yeah.
So part of it for me, and we talked about this before, is I enjoy looking at the courses. I just enjoy many times watching the courses, and these are courses I otherwise would not get to see.
So they're going to kick off their season on February 24th through the 26th in Mexico. Now, is that a course that you've ever seen?
I don't know which course it is, but if it's not on a regular...
The Chameleon Golf Course.
Not familiar with it, so I'm excited about that. I am a golf nerd, and so this now, in a weird way, I feel like it gives me double the fun, because now I still get to see all the best players, and I'll get two sets of courses, and there are two sets of tours, and they have different rules on the LIV Tour. They only play 54 holes, and they play in teams. So, okay, I'm feeling much better about this, because I was feeling dirty even going, when I saw it, I go, okay, cool, now they're going to be on TV. I can watch them. And I thought, well, should I feel bad as an American? And then I thought, well, wait a second. Our country buys oil from Saudi Arabia. Our country sells arms to Saudi Arabia. There are all sorts of multi-billion-dollar business transactions. It's not illegal to do business with Saudi Arabia. Why should I feel bad?
Greg Norman they haven't really released the financial details of it. He has said that it is mutually beneficial on both sides. But rather than think of it as Saudi-backed, maybe think that you're supporting the CW. The Next Star Media Group.
I'm not lying to myself, Casey, nor my audience. I'm supporting golf. I like watching these guys play golf. You two have confirmed.
It's okay.
I'm totally in the right here.
Yeah. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Planning for retirement all comes down to what matters most for you. Is it a vacation home? Is it traveling the globe? You could call the team at Howard Bailey Financial to help you plan for your retirement and to help you have a successful and fulfilling retirement. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people, and I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm.
The Howard Bailey team possesses credibility at both an ethical and professional standpoint. They will deliver you a customized framework that allows you to create the meaning of retirement. Whatever you visualize retirement to be, let the Howard Bailey team customize a plan specifically for you. If you're ready for your best retirement, come forward and see the Howard Bailey difference.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 38,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
I've had COVID.
Me too.
But I didn't know you could get it again.
What? And if you're 50 or older?
Or have a chronic condition like heart disease or diabetes. Getting COVID again could get really serious, even deadly.
That's why getting an updated COVID vaccine is so important.
COVID isn't going away anytime soon, but I can lower my risk.
And I'm up for that. We can do this. Find updated COVID vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Why does We Grow Hair Indy have the best hair transplant results? Because they have the best technology. And I'm living proof of it. This is Rob. I'm out and about in the community for this radio station, and I feel so much better because We Grow Hair Indy has the technology that restored both my hairline and my crown area. And this year, they can restore yours too. Call them right now at 317-522-2995. Here's Darren Andrews to explain.
Having that strong hairline again completely changes the way you see yourself. It makes a huge difference. A lot of people think the crown cannot be transplanted. It's actually an area of specialty for us with our multi-unit hair grafting.
My hair is going to grow the rest of my life. I'm very happy I called We Grow Hair Indy. Call right now for your free evaluation. 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995. WeGrowHairIndy.com. The gold standard in hair restoration.
When you hear Diamonds Direct, it's not just a catchy name designed to give the illusion of value. Our name is who we really are. Diamonds Direct was started by diamond cutters a quarter of a century ago. At our very core is a commitment to cut out the middleman and deliver extreme value in exquisite diamonds. Today, that's more true than ever, with our direct access to diamonds straight from the mines. Diamonds that we then cut and polish. Exquisite diamonds up to 15 and 20 carats in all shapes and sizes. It's an advantage other jewelers only dream of. By overseeing the entire process, we know for a fact Diamonds Direct is truly direct. So this year, as value becomes more important than ever, rest assured that Diamonds Direct's unique status in the world diamond market guarantees you the best no middleman direct importer price, period. And even with this extreme value promise, at Diamonds Direct you still get an unbeatable selection, transparent education, a luxurious shopping experience, superior customer service, no compromises. It's not having a cool name or clever advertising, it's the truth. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Coming up in 2 minutes, a possible identity for the Evansville Walmart shooter, changes coming to the Pendleton Pike roadway, and 2 Hamilton County Sheriff's deputies go above and beyond the call of duty. I'm Parker Carlson. All that and more coming up from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios after Fox News. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
He used to work there. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The gunman who shot up a Walmart last night in Evansville, Indiana, injuring a current Walmart employee until police stormed in.
We don't pause. We don't take time to try to figure out what's going on. We go in and we go where the shots are being fired.
Evansville Police Sergeant Anna Gray says that led to a gunfight all through the store. The shooter lost. He was killed. There's a call for a night of rage tonight in Atlanta from a protest group urging people to attack police in retaliation for a shooting Wednesday that left a state trooper wounded.
26-year-old Manuel Esteban Paez
Fayez Tehran died in gunfire exchange with police officers who were removing protesters camping on an 85-acre site slated for construction of a public safety training center for the city of Atlanta. 7 protesters, all of them from out of state, have been charged with domestic terrorism and criminal trespass.
Fox's Jonathan Seri in Atlanta. The 50th March for Life is today in Washington, anti-abortion activist gathering. But this one's different. The first march after the Supreme Court undid the Roe v. Wade ruling that every other march was out protesting. Last year's decision undid a federal right, letting states ban or severely restrict abortions. Other states still allow it. So March for Life President Gene Mancini tells Fox.
One of the things that we're doing is a state march initiative. This year we'll be in 10 states marching in the capitals.
President Biden reiterates he is cooperating with the investigation into the classified documents found at his home in Delaware and at a old office in D.C. from his time as vice president, adding it bugs him. Reporters keep asking about it.
I think you're going to find there's nothing there. I have no regrets. I'm following what the lawyers have told me they want me to do.
And amid questions about who might have had access to the Biden residence.
So while the White House states that no visitor logs exist for the president's personal home, a source tells Fox News that the Secret Service is prepared to provide information on vetted guests, if requested by Congress, that is.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Police got into a firefight with an active shooter. It's 33 degrees. Radar shows snow hitting Indianapolis. I'm Parker Carlson. Here's what's trending at 10:02. That shooter is believed to be a former Walmart employee, though investigators are still waiting to confirm that detail. And the suspect shot one person, then got into a shootout with police inside of the store.
There were, like I said, multiple times that he was actually shooting at officers before they actually were able to shoot him. And so at this time, we don't know if he shot, how many other people he shot at.
Sergeant Anna Gray, she says that the suspect was killed by police. The condition of the victim is currently unknown. Construction may be returning to a busy stretch of the road on the east side of Indianapolis. Kurt Darling reports.
Pendleton Pike near 56th and 65th Streets is one of the busiest stretches of state highway in Indiana. It's seen way too many fatal crashes, says Lawrence Police Chief Gary Woodruff.
You can see from some of the examples here, some of the crashes have occurred, and we have had a few crash fatalities out there, sadly.
INDOT laying out plans to put in medians along the roadway to limit left turns. Some business owners expressed concerns at a public meeting Thursday, saying that customers in most cases would need to make U-turns around the medians to get to their businesses. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The student who is suing Indianapolis Public Schools has dropped the case yesterday. The lawsuit was against the school for a policy that banned transgender students from participating in all-girls sports, saying that it violated Title IX. The student filed a lawsuit a year ago and was represented by the ACLU of Indiana, but they dropped it due to the student now going to a different non-IPS school. And a fire burned through a home in Hamilton County last month. 2 sheriff's deputies ran into the blaze while the family screamed for help that somebody was still in there.
Where are they at? Where are they at upstairs? Right there. Okay.
The 2 deputies rescued a man and cleared what they could of the house. As the body cam video was released yesterday, the 2 were awarded Medals of Honor for their bravery. I'm Parker Carlson, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-200-1966. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-200-1966. That's 800-200-1966. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Family Heating and Air Conditioning, your American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It's Friday, January 20th. It is 6 minutes after 10, and you're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. His name is Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels, and we're glad you're joining us today. You can watch on YouTube if you'd like. All you have to do is type in Kendall and Casey into the YouTube search bar. Okay, so big news yesterday, right when we were getting off the air, and it was in regards to Alec Baldwin. He's been charged with involuntary manslaughter, and that's according to the district attorney. Gutierrez Reed is also being charged with involuntary manslaughter, and just because it was an accident doesn't mean it's not a crime. So the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department spent the past year investigating how live rounds made it onto the movie set, and the armorer and the assistant director were the only crew members believed to have handled the gun, but we know that Alec Baldwin handled the gun as well.
Wouldn't it be fascinating to know whether Alec Baldwin's attorneys tried to talk him out of doing that interview with George Stephanopoulos?
Mm-hmm.
Because, and we said this at the time because that was late 2021, and I remember Mock and I sitting here and saying that is going to bite him in the ass because, one, now you've pigeonholed yourself on whatever your excuse is. And your excuse that he came up with is ludicrous, that the gun, essentially, he was trying to say that he didn't fire the gun. A gun does not fire itself. And it was going to be so easy for ballistics and for people who are experts in that field. And it started immediately, right, from outside people saying this is ridiculous because of A, B, and C. Well, obviously the government is going to be able to prove that as well. Now you've pigeonholed yourself into a ridiculous excuse, and your attorneys only have one way to defend you because you're on television. You're telling to everyone, right? You only have one way to defend yourself now because you have already said this is what happened.
Didn't he say that he only pulled the hammer, but he didn't pull the trigger?
Yes.
And then the FBI did the research, and they said, no, the trigger was pulled.
And so I would love to know, this is the intrigue of this to me, is, and I can't imagine that, obviously he has very high-profile, high-priced attorneys. They were not begging him to not do that interview, but it really does show the narcissism of these people. And here's what I equate it to. And I can't believe I would be able to say this, but I can. Friend of the show, Chris Hansen. We all remember him from the To Catch a Predator series. He has a new series. He has an app that he's on now. True Blue or something is the name of it. I don't know. We pay an exorbitant amount of money to have it each month so my wife can watch whatever investigations he does. And the videos are still the same after all these years of the guy comes into the house thinking he's going to meet a 15-year-old girl, and they think they can explain it away, when in reality, the best thing you could do is shut up. And I will watch these guys for 10, 15 minutes at a time, even after all these years of seeing how this ends. And these guys will still go, I know who you are. Oh, I know this show. And you are dramatically limiting your defense attorney's ability to protect you because you are pigeonholing yourself. And it is the same thing here with Alec Baldwin, where I'm charismatic, I'm charming, people love me, I can explain this away.
I'm an A-list actor, believe me.
So Leo Terrell, we play him from time to time on this show. He is an attorney who's on Fox News. And he said the exact same thing, which is that there is no way that interview on ABC was not going to come back to haunt him.
Well, I sent some talking points to you, and I said that one of the biggest mistakes Alex Baldwin made was to go on a George Stephanopoulos program and said he didn't pull the trigger. That was a lie. FBI evidence, and I guarantee you that's going to come back to haunt him, Harris, and I'm not surprised. And the charge against the armorer, that makes sense because they had an affirmative duty to inspect that gun. Their failure to inspect that gun is the reason why their conduct rise to a level beyond simple negligence, Harris.
consult your legal professional for legal advice, but here's some unsolicited advice. Don't talk.
Stop talking. Don't go on TV, especially ABC, nationwide broadcast.
I'm not ashamed to admit this, though I probably should be ashamed to admit this. One of the things I've started doing is on YouTube, there are these DUI attorneys, and they will make videos of telling you what you should and should not do if you are pulled over for suspicion of DUI. And they said this, one of the things, the mistakes that people make are assuming that you can, by revealing anything, finagle your way out of the situation. And they talk about even like taking the sobriety test, the field sobriety test. And they said something, and it never dawned on me until they pointed this out. The police are always asking you if you will take it. They're not telling you you have to take it, but people assume because the police are asking you that you have to. And you say, you don't have to talk. You don't have to do what they say. Now, if they arrest you and you're under arrest, then you have to do what they say. But all you got to do basically is hand them your license and registration, and then everything else is on them. And there's a good chance if they pulled you over, they're going to arrest you anyway.
Okay, so
same thing here. Stop talking.
He shouldn't have done that television interview. And you asked the question, didn't his lawyer advise him against that? I read that his lawyer is actually an art dealer, someone who is a lawyer for dealing high-end art pieces. So maybe not.
So it's not like it wasn't like he got a criminal defense attorney?
Maybe somebody who wasn't qualified to give him good advice in the area.
It's also probably an example of a guy, and we've talked about this before, like with the narcissism of politicians, where this guy has always been able to weasel his way out of whatever situation he's been in, either through money, through looks, through fame, through whatever. And so he is probably thinking in this situation, and I don't think anybody has said or is operating from the standpoint that Alec Baldwin meant to hurt anybody. I don't think anybody thinks that Alec Baldwin fired that weapon with the intention to hurt anybody. And so he's probably thinking to himself, well, I know, and it's obvious I didn't intend, but that's not what the law is. And in this case, you are dealing, especially with a death of someone, you are dealing with the letter of the law.
He said that he didn't think that he was going to be criminally charged in the shooting, but the prosecutor was not swayed by his Hollywood dazzle at all. She was going straight for the facts.
When you are going on national TV, he was almost goading or daring that prosecutor to file charges against him because you're essentially big timing a law enforcement official. And that is the absolute big timing someone who has power over you, especially as it relates to your freedom, is the worst thing you can do.
I'm sure he'll plea bargain out of it, or he'll try at least. He might want to get a different lawyer, though.
Well, he probably should have a defense attorney, someone skilled in criminal law advising you. Okay, so can we talk about, when we come back, some advice, a situation that Kevin is in? Because Kevin has tried to be a good friend, and I know many people who have done this over the years, and in an attempt to be a good friend, he has really pigeonholed himself, and he is getting the raw end of a deal.
Are we talking about his supper club?
Yes, we need to. Kevin is the sweetest, most nicest guy, and I feel like he has really boxed himself into a situation, and we need to help him
get out
of this situation.
Okay. We'll do that coming up from 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Wearing a diaper and holding a pistol.
93 WIBC.
A toddler holding a gun.
Around the age of 2 or 3.
Pointed it at me and said, look what I got. Ha ha.
Hear the news.
These classified documents.
They didn't keep records of who went to and from the president's personal residence because that was personal.
There's no Corvette exception to the espionage laws.
Another update is just minutes away.
Not doing any negotiation over the debt ceiling.
Playing chicken with the American economy.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
The new year is here. Time for a change. Start a recession-resistant new career in the high-demand IT field with My Computer Career in just months. Already in IT? Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers nationwide are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus, and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill. Make this your year. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hey, good morning. It's Casey. And let's talk about your retirement dream, right? You had plans to sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, travel, maybe go see the grandkids. But inflation and the recession has you wondering if all of your hard-earned equity is still going to be there. Well, here's a question. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with Truehold. Truehold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in the home for as long as you want. And Truehold covers all of your property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since Truehold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do with whatever you'd like. So take that trip. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. It's the smarter, fastest way to cash out your home's value without having to move. It's Truehold.com.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
I warn you, he's a bad dude.
And Casey Daniels.
She's something, she
is magnificent.
On 93 WIBC.
You place the flowers in the vase.
Our house is a very, very fine house.
Today.
You ripped on me for Fogelberg, and you're okay with this.
I didn't pick this one. This was Kevin's choice. 17 minutes after 10.
Wait. No. You're not doing that.
It's Kendall and Casey.
There was like light in your eyes as you were saying that. Like,
Rob, you can't speak ill of the dead.
I'm not speaking ill of the dead. I'm just wondering how yesterday she acted as though she had been stabbed
with Dan
in
Fogelberg.
the brain.
Is Fogelberg alive or is he dead?
No, he has passed away.
So she spoke ill of the dead too.
Well, I'm not speaking ill. This is a fine song. I'm just saying, why is this lighting up your world? And Dan Fogelberg, it was like you had a tooth extracted or something.
Probably I know how to play this song on guitar. I don't know how to play the Dan Fogelberg song. So this is, it's got a special place.
All right.
Right there.
What's trending?
Okay.
It's the Kendall and Casey show, by the way.
All three stories have to do with food.
Which is perfect.
And fast food joints. So Taco Bell, it's a Taco Bell story, Rob. They have announced the return of the crispy chicken wings. This is going to be for a limited time at participating locations nationwide starting January 26th. These crispy chicken wings are coated in Mexican queso seasoning. And you get your choice of dipping sauces.
Oh, wow. How exciting.
Also trending, Pizza Hut. They're bringing back the big New Yorker pizza, and in doing that, they're going to try and break the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest pizza, a 14,000 square foot pizza. That will feed a lot of people.
Do you remember the original Big New Yorker when it came out? I don't know when that was. That seems like maybe late 90s or something like that.
Square, right?
It was a gargantuan pizza, and I remember getting those. And so it is interesting. By the way, I don't know what's going on with the Brownsburg Pizza Hut. It has been closed for quite some time. Like the roof caved in or something. I don't know, but I really need
your Pizza Hut back?
Pizza Hut. And also, real quick before we get off Pizza Hut, do they still do the buffets for those that are open? That was a real treat for me to be able to go get the Pizza Hut buffet.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that is still an active thing.
I haven't been to Pizza Hut in a long time.
Did you used to do that after Little League games? Kind of like Bad News Bears?
Yeah, there were two things with the Pizza Hut. You had the Book It, where you could get the free pizza if you read the books in elementary school.
Yeah, I think we did that,
and
too.
Then there was some sort of club or something where you could go after the Little League games. The cool thing about the Pizza Hut was they had the pitchers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then as an adult, I ventured into the Long Island pitchers. So pitchers have been always been a big part of my
It was a smooth transition.
Dining and beveraging experience.
The best part about Pizza Hut was that they always had the flat top Pac-Man video game.
Oh, yes.
Or Centipede.
I bet my parents could have made a mortgage payment based on the amount of money I put into the arcade game at the Brownsburg Pizza Hut, both Ninja Turtles and then Mortal Kombat after that. And the amount of quarters you had to put in to beat Shredder, the multiple Shredders, and then Krang at the end of the Ninja Turtles arcade game. And I know they made it deliberately hard so kids would have to waste more money.
Yeah.
I would like to apologize for my parents.
Too bad they can't find those quarters now to fix the roof. Finally trending. Now, I have not heard of this restaurant, Swenson's.
Swenson's? What is that?
It's a fresh grilled burger, hand-spun milkshake, and crispy sides, and they're opening their first location in Indiana in Avon.
How great.
Where is this place from?
I don't know. That's what I'm
It sounds like a Wisconsin place.
Swenson's Drive-In will open in Avon in February.
You know, when
they're hiring, by the way, they're looking for an entire staff.
When the Cooper's Hawk Winery opened in Avon, they invited me to go to a testing and tasting, so I would speak fondly of them. And I think maybe Swanson's should invite us.
No, this is Swenson's.
Swanson's is the ice cream guy, isn't it?
And they're from Akron,
from
Ohio.
Akron. And you never heard of it?
No.
Wow.
It's like a burgers, fries.
Yeah.
Everything goes to Avon.
Right.
Nothing goes to Brownsburg. You know why nothing goes to Brownsburg? Because the people who run our town are very into building warehouses and single-family homes.
It's true.
They want you to go to another community and spend your hard-earned money.
I'm sure it's going to be on Rockville Road. It's going to be next to Costco and Raising Cane's Chicken
In
Fingers.
Brownsburg, here's how the conversation goes. Hey, honey, what would you like to do in Brownsburg tonight? I don't know. We could go stare at a warehouse.
It's very aesthetically pleasing.
It's 22 minutes after 10. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and he's a little sheepish about us talking about this.
We have to, though.
Okay.
We have to. So, as I do every day, I ask Kevin. Kevin is a young man in his 20s, and I figured this weekend he'd be out on the prowl. He'd be, hitting up some local beveraging establishments.
Him and his band.
Maybe the band is there, checking out the ladies. And so I asked Kevin, I said, what are you doing tonight? And he proceeded to tell me, because Kevin is from the South Side, that he is going all the way to Noblesville to have Indian food.
Yeah, I'm going with I'm going with one of my friends to meet our other friend who lives up in Noblesville.
And what time are you scheduled to meet this person?
5:30.
And I said, Kevin, you are going to Noblesville, which is Hamilton County, during rush hour. And it was as though I've never actually seen all the blood drain from someone's face, but Kevin may have been close because then it dawned on him how long it will take him to get from Greenwood to Noblesville in rush hour. So, Kevin, you might as well just go now, and I will produce the rest of the show.
Yeah, I just didn't even think it through before. And yeah, my friends and I, we do this little, we call it a club. We try foreign cuisines. And so, today we're going to an Indian restaurant. But there are plenty of Indian restaurants all around the city.
Like 10,000.
There's a couple on the south side, too.
No,
you and your friend are both from the south side, and you're driving to the north side.
Yeah, and so our friend who lives in Noblesville,
he's thinking it through in his head about how much he got screwed.
Well,
what he committed to.
He's come down a few times to meet us on the south side.
Yeah.
So
does north side friend have kids?
He's got a kid on the way, but he's married. Yeah, he's married and has a kid on the way.
Yeah, he did you dirty though, because you are having to go. That's a solid. If you left at 3:30, no, and this is no joke, coming from the south side to get up to Noblesville on a Friday, you're going to have to leave at like 3:30, maybe 4 o'clock at best to get there at 5:30. So now you're an hour and a half in. You got to be there for an hour. Then you got to drive all the way back. So now you're at least 3.5, maybe 4 hours into a thing in which women are not involved and there's no alcohol.
Well, there might be some kind of Indian beer.
Well, there might be alcohol, is what he's saying. Do you want to call it off because you've been invited to the luau?
Oh, well, that is true. You're having that luau, and that kind of also made me think about it. And I heard there's going to be a hog being roasted and all kinds of great drinks.
So you have this thing you do at your house where you and your significant other and I guess your daughter is coming home and what are you doing? What is
So yesterday was my birthday, which by the way, I found out it's also Pete Buttigieg's birthday.
Yeah, congratulations. He called the show.
I know.
And he didn't even mention it.
I know. So, we want to go to Hawaii, but that's just not going to happen. So we're bringing Hawaii to us.
Oh.
And we're just going to eat Hawaiian type food and drink Hawaiian type drinks and watch Elvis's movie Blue Hawaii.
How great would it be
that way?
How great would it be if Kevin just, I don't know, maybe
Showed
about 9:30 in the evening, just randomly just moseys on up to your door and says, "Hey, I'm here."
I will bring the hog.
Okay. I'm sure you will.
And some drinks.
We know that this is really just his excuse to try to meet my daughter.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of why I want him to show up, because I want to know how that goes.
We want to know that
Kevin,
interaction.
I think you're a phenomenal friend. I would not drive 7 feet to do what you're doing, much less 7 hours, which is what you're prepared to embark on. So you are a phenomenal friend.
Thank you. Yeah, I try my best.
And Rob, what are you doing tonight? We've shared our plans.
It's on Patrol Live.
Okay, there we go. So you'll be texting with Hammer.
Yes, and I'll be finding out how Kevin's Indian dining and dancing went. I'll be finding out how your luau went.
Okay, we've got voicemails.
I had
coming
my
up.
time, Casey.
Yeah,
I had my time.
Okay, voicemails are on the way from 93 WIBC.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, or candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Rizza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new place. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine. With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-200-1966. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
If you own a small or medium-sized business that kept employees on payroll through COVID, you may have a big cash refund waiting for you. The Employee Retention Credit is a tax credit of up to $26,000 per employee. And now, more businesses than ever qualify. The experts at RefundsPro.com specialize in cutting through the red tape of qualifying for this government program. Most of their refunds are over $100,000. Even businesses that have received PPP funds may be eligible, and there are absolutely no fees unless you receive a refund, so there's no reason not to apply. If your business experienced shutdowns, limited capacity, supply chain challenges, or reduced revenue due to COVID, you likely qualify. RefundsPro.com has already helped hundreds of businesses, so don't lose the refund you're owed by missing the deadline. Get started today with a free 5-minute questionnaire at RefundsPro.com. That's refunds with an S, pro.com.
Give family a call for your family maintenance plan, 317-577-8077. Maintenance is crucial.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
By listening to WIBC, you'll learn how to create a secure income plan that is sustainable throughout retirement from Crown Haven Wealth Advisors. Tune into WIBC this Sunday from 9 to 10 p.m.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
22,000 jobs lost in 2 days. 33 degrees. Snow is passing central Indiana. I'm Parker Carlson. Here's what's trending at 10:30. Google is joining Microsoft and cutting thousands of jobs, citing changes in the economy. Google's parent company, Alphabet, is cutting 12,000 jobs. Microsoft said a similar thing Wednesday as they announced 10,000 job cuts across their worldwide businesses. Both companies say that those jobs were added during dramatic growth during the past couple years during the pandemic, but now that things have cooled down, the jobs are no longer necessary. Investigators are still confirming the details, but they believe that last night's shooter in Evansville Walmart used to work at a Walmart.
We know that there was at least one victim who was injured who was taken to the hospital. I do not know what the condition is of the victim at this time.
Sergeant Anna Gray, she says that the suspect was soon killed by police. I'm Parker Carlson on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
I'm so sorry you have just reached my answering machine.
It's time to hear from you at 317-684-8444. 1032 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Got a whole bunch of really good phone calls. Won't be able to get to all of them in this segment, but maybe later in the show. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we talked about yesterday was that I had approached on Wednesday Kevin, and he looked so forlorn as he pulled out a sandwich of some sort out of his bag. And it looked like a guy who was on his last meal. And so then it sparked a conversation about what you would want if it was your last meal. Like
Right.
you're the death row inmate, you're on your last meal. What would you order?
Yeah.
And we got quite a few phone calls about that.
Okay, Rob. Last meal. 3 foot-long chili cheese dogs. Anything close to some White Castle sliders and a couple of bean burrito supremes.
Wow.
And then the next day, don't use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Clean that up after you fry me.
Wow. He's going to need a Tums in there. That's a whole lot of food, too.
Yes. Okay, also, the moon. We are still on the moon.
Sure.
So we had a lady who called the other day who was adamant, because Chelsea Handler said until very recently, even as a grown adult, she believed that the moon and the sun were the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had asked, how could she, even if you never studied astronomy or anything, how could you not have known these two things are in the sky sometimes at the same time? One's going up, one's coming down.
Mm-hmm.
How could you not have known that? And then we started talking about how the moon rises in the east, sets in the west, just like the sun.
Right.
And some lady called and was super offended, annoyed. It's not, the incessant tax increases by the Indiana General Assembly. I mean, it's Malik Muhammad, the mask mandates, that didn't annoy her enough to call. But the fact that we said the moon rises in the east and sets in the west, she called and gave us this long lecture. And then we got flooded with people going, that lady is
incorrect.
And I'm kinder and gentler. Now, that lady is thank you, Casey, very incorrect.
Yeah.
And they sent us links to articles showing that indeed the moon rises in the east and sets or goes down in the west. And so people still, for some reason, continue to call about this.
Rob, Kendall, this is going to blow your mind. Sometimes you can see the moon during the day.
He sounds like his mind was already blown. I'm just saying.
Okay, so we've gotten quite a few people calling. I've said over the past several days, I'm trying a kinder, gentler approach.
Yeah.
And there are people who have strong feelings either way.
Yeah.
One person who has a very strong opinion is one of our favorite listeners, old Gert.
Aw.
We love Gert. She is a sassy old broad. And at some point, we're going to meet Gert because she seems like a high-quality person. Take a listen.
Hey, Rob and Casey, this is Gert. Happy birthday to Casey. Many more at WIBC. We love you. However, I'm getting a little tired these last couple of days of hearing Rob chirping about a kinder, gentler Rob. We liked you the way you were. Do your parents recognize the new you? No, I don't think so. Go back to just being Rob. Adios, amigos.
She likes your angst.
Yeah.
I think we need to have Gert on the show to straighten you out sometime.
I would like to know more about Gert. Kevin and I were talking about this during the break. I would like to know the story of Gert because I bet she's got some stories.
Oh, you know she does.
All I know is that apparently she makes a mean possum stew.
Oh, David in the YouTube chat says Gert calls the Home and Garden Show all the time. So maybe Denny and Pat can shed some light on Gert as well.
She always calls in on there.
Gert, if you're hearing us now, call. Tell us. We want to know. We need to know more about you.
We need to know your life story.
Okay, one more call on this. Mike, also longtime listener, Mike from the North.
Happy birthday, Casey. Hey, this is Mike from the North. I'm really worried about Rob and this kinder, gentler... whatever's going on there. I'm afraid he's headed to a show like The View or maybe want to leave WIBC for MSNBC or, man, I don't want to see him end up moving to California. This headed towards that crazy wokeness. Rob, come back to us, brother. We need that man with a backbone and a set of cojones. We need you out there saying the right things with enough guts to put a boost in it. Thank you, brother. Know you will. Enjoy the show. Keep up the good work.
Except for when you're kinder and gentler. People like you fighting for them, Rob.
Casey, I know we normally do voicemails this entire segment, but I did want to wrap up before we get to Hammer. I have a question.
Yeah.
And I don't know when else to fit it in, so I'm just going to fit it in here.
Okay.
And this is actually a serious question. We have a lot of fun on our voicemails.
Okay.
I saw someone, and I don't remember who it was, some member of the local media, who posted that they had interviewed Joe Hogsett. And I don't know. I think it was a television station.
Okay.
I don't know for sure. But and I posed the question today on Twitter at Rob M. Kendall.
Early this morning you did.
Well, because this is when I saw that this person had interviewed Joe Hogsett for whatever. And it's like this interview where they're sitting across from each other, looking very intensely at each other. How is it possible that 2.5 years after the downtown area was destroyed and people died, including a great human being like Chris Beatty, that no one in the Indianapolis media has ever asked Joe Hogsett where he was during the riots?
Where he was. And somebody commented and said, well, you know people in the media. In fact, some would say, you are the media. Why don't you ask?
Here's how that would work if I got within 7 miles of Joe Hogsett. I'm not going to say the word shoot on sight order.
Yeah.
There's no way he's not going to do an interview with Rob Kendall. It's the same reason I'll never get to ask Eric Holcomb about Malik Muhammad
Yeah.
or trying to put you in jail for not wearing a mask or saying he trusted the science that has now been proven completely wrong. Because I tried to do that. I tried to walk the questions over.
And it would not serve Hoosiers well.
That's the response I got.
Yeah.
They would not let me get anywhere near Joe Hogsett to answer that question. So it's really easy to go, well, why don't you just ask him?
Mm-hmm.
How would I do that without ending up in a correctional facility of some sort?
Doesn't Hammer's dad know him or somebody know him?
They ran into him at a parade.
Oh, okay.
They're not in the... This is the question, though. Why has... And we asked this question even here. If you have an opportunity to interview Joe Hogsett, even if it's one question, hey, you're going to get a press availability with the mayor, which happens. Why do these people not ask, where were you during the first night of the riots when the city was destroyed? Because we know Joe Hogsett did not give the order to allow those lunatics to take over the circle. It was not Joe Hogsett. No one to this day knows where Joe Hogsett was. And how is it possible?
Does Joe Hogsett know where Joe Hogsett
Well, great point.
was?
Does he remember?
Yeah.
How is that possible that 2.5 years later, no one, not one person, has asked Joe Hogsett, where were you during the riots and why was it your lackeys who were given the orders? It blows my mind, and I hope that if indeed Abdul runs for mayor, he will have the courage in a very public setting to look at Joe Hogsett, a debate stage, a public forum, whatever, and I hope he'll make it a crux of his campaign. Where were you during the riots?
Will there be a televised debate for that race?
I hope there'll be everything, because we don't know, and it's a total indictment of the media in the city, of people who have access to Joe Hogsett, have never bothered to ask that question. It's the same. It's the same disgrace that these people have access to Holcomb, never once ask, why don't you ask about why you had a VIP meet and greet with Malik Muhammad? What do you people do? How could those not be amongst the first questions you are asking these people? Where was the mayor when you gave up downtown? Sorry, that didn't have anything to do with voicemails, but I wanted to get that off my chest because that's been really bothering me this morning, that another person I saw interviewing Joe Hogsett, what appeared to be in his office, they're face-to-face, they're as close as you and I are, so clearly you got more than one question. He's running for re-election. The safety of the city, or lack thereof, clearly is a campaign issue. Hey, how about those riots?
Right.
And where were you?
I know that you're friends with Phil Sanchez, and maybe put pressure on him.
Everyone. Dan Spieler, Phil Sanchez, Abdul Hakim Shabazz, because he's still technically a member of the media. Everyone should be asking this question, and I don't understand why no one does, who has access to the mayor. Where were you during the riots? It's so simple.
It's Kendall and Casey
we know
on
where he
93.
was during the riots.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and Hammer's going to join us next.
Hammer and Nigel Show Beer Sample Friday. We've been waiting for it all week. It happens today, 3 to 7, 93 WIBC.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Diamonds Direct, we want to make something very clear. We will absolutely beat the price of any comparable diamond that you find anywhere else. No fine print, no disclaimers, just a rock-solid, unqualified, nationwide price guarantee. And this goes for 1-carat diamonds as well as 15 and 20-carat diamonds. You see, at Diamonds Direct, we're more than just another jewelry store. We're part of a world diamond powerhouse with direct access to the world's top diamond mines. We have our own diamond cutters, too, so we are active in every aspect of the diamond market every single day, from source to showroom. So when you see a diamond somewhere else, online or in a store, or from some so-called supplier, just know that apples for apples, you will get a better price at Diamonds Direct. Our volume, our connections, our buying power make this possible, and it's why we've never ever lost a sale due to price. So at a time when value means so much, we invite you to take this challenge and let us prove it. Day in and day out, you will always get a better quality diamond at a better price at Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Online at diamondsdirect.com.
Doing more in the community means that I get out and I volunteer.
Hi, I'm Hannah Yeagerbush here at Teachers Treasures, and we nominated David Barabee because he's such a great volunteer leader. He does so much for us to make our mission possible to serve teachers in Marion County.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Jennifer Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are rewarding Hoosier volunteers who use their vehicle to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
My vehicle really allows me the ability to be where they need me. Either downtown, at the store, or out on a route, or working for the mobile operation.
Each month, Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides a volunteer free vehicle maintenance for a year, whether it's someone who delivers smiles and supplies or drives somewhere to serve on site. Jiffy Lube supports local givers who count on their car to do more for Indy, and we love to hear their stories.
If you know a volunteer who impacts your community, nominate them today to receive a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Just click the Do More tab at JiffyLubeIndiana.com.
Amber and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
There's a lot of sexy content on the internet. And there's WIBC, full of faces meant for radio. Hammer and Nigel, Kendall and Casey. Okay, Casey could be on TV. Now streaming every day on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/WIBC.
Clear blue skies. Good morning. It is 10:48. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Way to bring the energy there, guys. What the hell is this?
I don't know.
It's a little tribute.
Little tribute to?
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
All right, I'll allow it. I was never a big Crosby guy, like a Crosby, Stills, or Nash guy. So I will allow the tribute music.
So Hammer came into the studio today reeking of booze, which that's not that unusual.
It's Friday.
But he was reeking of booze and said, hey, do you want to role play? So I have no idea where this is going, but the floor is yours.
This is not some sort of late birthday gift for Casey.
By the way, did you show her yourself naked yesterday?
No.
No, I'll have to do that.
Yeah.
But I heard you guys talking about Boss Hogsett and the question of why doesn't anybody ask this guy where he was at for the riots?
Yeah.
We have been talking about this forever. And you're right. There are so many reporters in this city that they're just so thirsty for access to this loser, they don't want to ask the question. So here's what we're going to do. This is how it should go down.
Rob, you will play the role of yourself.
Yes.
I will play the role of Joe Hogsett.
Okay.
Let's act like you finally got the interview that you want. That Diamond Joe, Boss Hogsett, has stumbled in here. He's sitting down, having a conversation with you. What should this conversation be like? I'm Joe Hogsett. Start the interview.
I would like to point out before we begin, you have a bottle of something there in your hand. What is that?
Don't worry about it.
He's getting into character. Okay, so it is very clear from the audio tapes that you were not in command the first night of the riots in the city of Indianapolis. Why was that? Where were you?
Rob, I was at home. I was observing people protesting peacefully. And let the record clearly state that I was 100% not drunk. And I can't stress this enough. I was 100% not sloppy drunk or in rehab or peeing my pants, and there was no way those rumors are true that I wanted to come downtown in an inebriated state, and my weasel assistants told me that would be super embarrassing. So let's put all those rumors to rest.
He opens up the bottle.
Isn't that just such an indictment on our media, though? That everybody knows the allegations, right?
Right.
And you would think that something of that magnitude, you would say, what a story if you got the story, right?
Where's the verified Channel 13 at? They come at me for true stories, which I'm still waiting my apology from old 2 L's over there. But the mayor of a major city, a city that has hosted a Super Bowl, that hosts the Final Four on the regular, that has convention after convention come to it, no one knew where the mayor was at for 2 nights. And the rumors are out there. And again, these are just rumors. Let me just say that. But there are rumors that he was possibly intoxicated or somewhere trying to sober up. There were rumors spread by Democrats in Marion County. Let me just say this. Democrats have told me he tried to come downtown after night number 1.
He was like Shooter in Hoosiers.
Bingo. And his staff was like, oh my God, no, you're not going to do that. So that's why they put out a tweet at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. That's all we got. Now, if all of those things are untrue, wouldn't you be standing on top of a mountain yelling, what? Where did you hear this? Wouldn't you be doing interview after interview addressing this?
To refute it?
But nobody, all the little butt sniffers in the city that act like they want to be political reporters, none of them have enough hair in their peaches to ask this guy where you were at. Could you imagine if Philadelphia or even Chicago media acted this way? Like, let's be honest, Chicago's a very liberal town, and Lori Lightfoot is a total loser. But at least the media in that city would be like, wait a minute, where is our mayor at while windows are being broken up and down Rush Street?
Yeah, she was cheerleading for it, but at least she was somewhere. At least we knew where she was. And it's the same way with sports, too, right? Where our media refuses to hold our local sports teams or sports owners or whatever accountable. And I don't understand. Like, they feel, well, if I am remotely honest about what's going on, or I dig on what's going on, or I tell the truth about what's going on, they won't talk to me anymore, and them not talking to me anymore is more important than me telling the public what's going on.
Correct. There's a lot of that to it. We've set the precedent here in Indianapolis that having access to people and almost wanting to be somewhat buddy-buddy with these people is more important than the story. And look at the tweet yesterday from the sports writer of the Indy Star. He's upset that he's losing followers. And he tweets this.
Yeah.
He's upset that he's losing followers because people didn't like the story that he wrote about Tony Dungy and some other things. Well, okay, that's fine. How about you guys just focus on what's happening with the Colts? Your political bullcrap has interfered with covering the team. And I'm not somebody that normally says, just stick to sports. That's not who I am. But you don't get to complain when your woke liberal bullcrap costs you viewers, or in this case, readers. You don't get to do that.
Yeah, and to bring it back full circle, this is one of the problems and why the Republicans in this state are so bad, is because they know that people look at the only other alternative. Let's face it, libertarians have not yet proven they're viable, certainly with statewide candidates. And they say, well, yeah, this is terrible, but I sure can't have this, so I guess I'll tolerate the terrible. And then the Republicans know, well, no matter what I do, you're going to vote for me anyway. So they don't represent you, and they represent the special interest, because even representing the special interest, it's still better than the radical leftism.
Well, they're not getting punished by the voters ever.
Exactly.
Bringing it back to the media, though, like what happened in Baltimore the other day, where the CEO of the Orioles calls a press conference at Camden Yards, where the Orioles play. It's only like the second time in 4 years he's spoken to the press. A reporter asks him a question like, there's rumors you're going to sell the team. And this guy melts down because it's supposed to be about scholarships and MLK that day. Well, you're the CEO of the Orioles. You called the press conference at Camden Yards. There might be a question about the Orioles coming up. Props to the Baltimore media. Do you think something like that would ever happen in this city?
Never.
Would anybody ever push back against Irsay or Ballard like that, not named Dan Dockich?
What's coming up this afternoon?
This afternoon, Beer Sample Friday. We got Abdul coming on with us, the crazy coupon lady, Dr. Laura Wilson, and a lot more.
All right, pass the bottle. Thanks, Hammer. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get out. I'm ready for some warm fun in the sun. This winter has already got me thinking about my next vacation, maybe a Caribbean cruise, maybe headed to Disney with my family. Not sure yet. No matter where you're headed, my friends at AAA can help you get the best price on your next vacation at the AAA Vacation Expo. It's happening Saturday, January 21st at the JW Marriott downtown. More details at AAA.com/expo.
Exclusive vacation deals, expert presentations, complimentary travel planning, and more. And the best part, it's free. You don't even have to be a AAA member to attend. So whether you're looking to travel this year, next year, or beyond, save the date for the AAA Vacation Expo, Saturday, January 21st at the JW Marriott downtown. Find more information and pre-register for your chance to win a $500 AAA travel voucher at AAA.com/expo.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
I ask that they might all be one.
Pastor John Gable of Tabernacle Presbyterian Church in Indianapolis.
This was the great prayer for unity that Jesus prayed for his disciples. Unity is at the heart of his desire for us today. But how can this be when God's people are so different, distinct, and separated from one another? This is the miracle of God's work in the church. It is our common faith in Jesus that brings us together now and always. Rather than focusing on those things that divide the body of Christ, it is our desire at TAB to focus on the one who unites us. We invite you to experience this unity in Christ for yourself by visiting us in person or at tabpres.org.
Tabernacle Presbyterian Church, 34th Street and Central Avenue in Indianapolis, invites you to worship Sunday morning at 8 or 10 a.m. If you can't make it in person, tune in to Sunday with Tab, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WIBC, or find us online at tabpres.org.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Coming up in 2 minutes, 911 calls from the Evansville active shooter, and a name is found for the suspect. People are also mixed up on a new plan for the Pendleton Pike roadway. I'm Parker Carlson. That and more coming up on the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios after Fox News. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
This year.
Exactly 50 years ago this month, Roe v. Wade made abortion legal nationwide, but today marks the first time the March for Life will be taking place since that consequential decision was overturned by the Supreme Court last spring.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson.
There's an excitement, but there's also a realization that there's still work to be done.
Former NFL player Ben Watson, now a former pro-life advocate. Pro-choice groups keep mounting legal challenges in states that have banned abortions. The morning after a gunman shot up a Walmart in Evansville, Indiana, we find out he used to work at that store and wounded a current employee. Then he was killed in a gunfight when police stormed in. The U.S. is readying another military aid package to Ukraine as President Volodymyr Zelensky pleads for battle tanks at a meeting of U.S. allied defense leaders in Germany. The Coast Guard's monitoring a Russian ship off the coast of Hawaii. Deputy Press Secretary in the Pentagon, Sabrina Singh, says,
"We believe is an intelligence gathering vessel, but is operating in international and open waters."
Is another American jailed in Russia or about to be?
Russia's state security agency called FSB says it is filing charges against a U.S. citizen accusing this person of espionage. The agency will not reveal the name of this American and hasn't said whether this person is in custody.
Fox's Evan Brown. The U.S. keeps trying to free American Paul Whelan, who's in a Russian prison convicted of spying. Last year, basketball star Brittany Griner was freed in a prisoner swap, but hers is a drug case like the one that has another American, Mark Fogel, still jailed in Russia. 2 Ohio men flying home from a funeral in New York are dead when their plane crashed shortly after takeoff from JFK, trying to reach another airport.
Crews searching in the rain and fog at first could not locate the wreckage until it was spotted wedged in trees in a wooded area about a mile short of the airport. The passenger sent his family messages on social media saying they'd lost the engine and that he loved them.
America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
911 calls have been released. It's a chilly 33 with some snow flurries from Kokomo to Columbus. I'm Parker Carlson. Here's what's trending at 11:02. 911 calls have released from the active shooter in an Evansville Walmart last night. Be warned, this could be hard to hear.
Evansville 911. We're at Westside Walmart. There's an active shooter. Active shooter 911.
Police confirmed that the shooter was 25-year-old Ronald Mosley and that he shot one victim.
How many shots have been fired? One. He shot a girl in the head. Shot in the head.
The victim was taken to the hospital, but there are no updates on their condition. Indy Metro Police got a call yesterday about having a body on the road in Guilford Avenue, north of downtown.
Officers responded. They did not locate anyone down in the roadway, but their attention was immediately drawn to a vehicle that was driving erratically away from 3100 North Guilford.
IMPD Sergeant Janae Cook, they followed that car to 30th and College, where two people got out and surrendered to police. One of them had been shot in the foot and the other was not injured. The driver of the car had also been shot and died at the hospital later on. Police are still investigating the incident. Construction may have been returning to a busy stretch of the road on the east side of Indianapolis. Kurt Darling reports.
Pendleton Pike near 56th and 65th Streets is one of the busiest stretches of state highway in Indiana. It's seen way too many fatal crashes, says Lawrence Police Chief Gary Woodruff.
You can see from some of the examples here, some of the crashes have occurred, and we have had a few
crash fatalities out there, sadly.
INDOT laying out plans to put in medians along the roadway to limit left turns. Some business owners expressed concerns at a public meeting Thursday, saying that customers in most cases would need to make U-turns around the medians to get to their businesses. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And I'm Parker Carlson, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hopefully, you'll never have a house or business fire. But if you do, hopefully, you'll never forget this name, Michaelis. They can be there before that lump in your throat goes away. In fact, they're the reason it goes away. Over 35 years of helping people recover from faulty wiring, lightning strikes, or that unattended pot of pasta on the stove. Michaelis crews often roll in before the fire hoses are rolled up. Their proven process of water extraction, smoke removal, and content storage will calm your nerves. Then their talented craftsmen will rebuild your home and restore your spirits. That starts by being your advocate with the insurance company. You'll find Michaelis doesn't just feel for you, they work for you. Water, storms, fire, and foundations. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Family Heating and Air Conditioning, your American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Friday, January 20th. It is 6 minutes after 11. His name is Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels, and you're listening to 93 WIBC. So, Rob, have you ever seen the movie We Are the Millers? Stars Jason Sudeikis and Jennifer Aniston. We're the Millers?
No, nothing.
No, it's comedy. Okay, so there's a part of the movie where one of the young boys gets a tattoo on his chest.
Oh.
And the tattoo is supposed to say no regrets.
Oh, yeah.
But instead it says no regrets. And he says that he has no regrets, and Jason Sudeikis looks at him and says, not even a single letter, huh? And as I was preparing for this story, I just kept picturing that movie in my mind because Joe Biden said yesterday that he has no regrets regarding his handling of the documents following the discovery of those classified documents in multiple locations. He said, I think we're going to find there's nothing there. I have no regrets. He went on to say there's going to be no there. And he also said that he's following what the lawyers have told him to do.
Isn't that interesting when he keeps saying his spin on the lawyers? Like, those are your lawyers. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's like the government is telling you what to do. You're doing what your lawyers who work for you, who you pay, tell you what to do. No kidding.
Yeah. He's taken direction from them.
But he tries to, when you hear that and you hear him say it, you think, oh, he's doing what the government lawyers. No, you're doing what your lawyers are telling you to do, which is to save your ass. Mm-hmm. But, and so this comes back to almost what we talked about the last couple segments with Joe Hogsett and the refusal of anyone in Indianapolis media to ask him where he was during the riots. He has no regrets because he's banking on, as has almost always been done, the media won't hold him accountable. Now, again, the one time the media held him accountable, he cratered, which was Afghanistan, because clearly all those people died. They couldn't hide that. Mm-hmm. I think this is something similar is happening here because of the way they're treating the media over it, because they've always been able to bully and abuse the media, because the media is in the tank for the Biden administration because most of them are radical leftists.
Until you start making the media look bad.
Yes, perfect.
And turn them into liars on your behalf.
Yes.
And then it changes.
And it is getting so bad now that not only CNN, but now also NPR is getting in on the game, too. This is an NPR reporter. Her name is Asma Khalid, and she's talking about how the reporters on CNN, so an NPR reporter on CNN, complaining about how they're getting the runaround from Biden over these documents.
I mean, I think that there's a frustration, I can say, generally speaking, I hope I'm not overgeneralizing, amongst many reporters, because there has been, I think, a sense that the White House has not been as forthcoming as journalists would like with the information and the timeline. I mean, the first batch of documents were discovered shortly after the midterms. That was not disclosed until CBS broke the story.
So now there's pictures of Hunter Biden coming out in his dad's Corvette. That's raising questions about his access to the classified documents. And there's this conservative group that claims that they found more pictures that date back to 2017 when the documents were, as Trump puts it, the wet garage. So who had access? And we've been told that the Secret Service did not have a list of people going in and out, but now the Secret Service has come out and said, yeah, no, we have a list of people, and it's a whole bevy of people who were going in and out of the house in Delaware when the classified documents were there, but it remains a White House blackout as far as the press corps goes.
You can't get a straight answer from the government, and that should be the most alarming thing to everyone, is that multiple agencies of the federal government appear to be dodging and deflecting, revealing pertinent information that every American has a right to know. Look, we know the story with Trump. We know he took him. We know where he put him. We know he disagreed on whether he had to give him back. And we know that that is something that is still in dispute. But we know that he took them. We know where he put them. There is nobody who's disputing the chain of custody. There's nobody saying, oh, my gosh, people were pilfering through that closet, etc. And reasonable people can disagree, and that can get sorted out. With Biden, we have no answers to any of this.
Well, they tried to ask him yesterday. He's in California, and he's talking about climate change, of course. And somebody asked him a question, and he didn't answer. He said, why are you asking me about this? We're here to talk about climate change. He tried to change the subject. So we've got 2 presidents, 2 tranches of classified documents, 2 special counsel investigations, and the White House won't say anything. And Matt Gaetz is coming out and he's saying, well, there's an element to this that feels like the Democrats are trying to take out Joe Biden. And the rep from Tennessee says that there's just been so much chaos regarding these documents that it'll be tough to prosecute.
Well, I think the Democrats really had 2 problems. One was the midterm elections, and the second, of course, is Joe Biden. You notice they waited, I think, 40 days after the Justice Department found these files, and now they can't pump them out fast enough to where they're finding these classified documents. So I think of course it's a double standard. They didn't raid his house, they didn't raid his residency, but I think it's pretty clear to me that the Democrats want rid of Joe Biden. That's why none of them have apparently been briefed on the contents of what was in these files, which to me I find is very unusual. And so they can kind of keep plausible deniability. Then you combat that with the fact that he is a albatross around their neck, and as well as the vice president. And I suspect his own people were the ones who dug deep enough. It's very Clinton-esque of the Democrats to do this at this point.
Yeah, so that was Andy Ogles. He's a U.S. rep from Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Why does Joe Biden want to run? Does he really think he's the best person for the job? Really? We know he wants the control, he wants the power, he wants the money. Hasn't he made enough? Like, at what point do you have to be honest with yourself and cut your losses? Well, it's been a good run for 50 years. I made a whole lot of money. Let's get out.
Yeah, but if scheming and scamming is all you've ever known, and essentially absolute power that comes with it, why would you ever give that up? He's never been forced to give that up. Think about, despite Joe Biden's Whoops, Freudian slip there.
Yeah.
Joe Biden's severe limitations, right? Like, I mean, mentally, audibly. I mean, Joe Biden, you wouldn't hire him to run. You would never want the success of your company to hinge on Joe Biden being in charge of that company. And yet, despite that, and the fact that he has been a scammer and a schemer and has enriched himself and has done many, it appears, terrible things in terms of selling access, etc. He has really never lost. I mean, now he lost a couple times when he ran for president in a Democrat primary, but he was still a United States senator.
Mm-hmm.
He still became the vice president. He's always had a job for 50 years, grifting off the taxpayers and acquiring more power at each and every turn.
Well, he's also had the media on his side for the most part, and they're starting to turn on him as well. It's going to be an uphill battle on every front.
But you don't, when you have done it as long as he has, and you've always had something in your pocket like that, you never assume it won't be there, and you never assume that it won't last forever.
Mm-hmm.
And even if there are minor, scrums, or whatever the word is, tussles, whatever. Look at Afghanistan. They grilled him pretty good on Afghanistan. His ratings went in the toilet, and then media said, oh, crap, we're really harming this guy, and we need him. We better cut this out. And then the Afghanistan story went away, and they have not done anything in terms of holding him accountable since. So why would he think that this will last? Why would he think anything other than it's just another bump in the road? We'll do what we do, and they'll get in line when all's said and done because they don't want Trump to be president.
It's all about not having Trump. Again, these two and their relationship is so symbiotic. And I would think at some point somebody would say to him, it's time to retire. It's time to take a step back. However, no U.S. president has voluntarily left the White House after a single 4-year term since Hayes in 1881.
All right, Casey, when we come back, Mitch McConnell said something yesterday that confirms everything we already knew. The debt ceiling will be raised. Republicans will eventually fold. And the only way he would know that's going to happen is if his old buddy Kevin McCarthy has assured him that's what's going to happen.
Okay, it's on the way from 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
It's best, Mr. President, that you don't know what you're guilty of. It's best that you not know that these documents pertain to conversations regarding Ukraine, where your son was having business dealings and making millions of dollars, and now they, meaning the free and thinking world, can connect your classified document, the classified documents in your possession, to things that may exist on your son's laptop.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Maybe you need a bigger home for your office or growing family. There's only one real estate agent I'd trust to sell my home. That's Mark Dietel. Mark took care of Lori and Kathy in Indianapolis. It was time for Mom to get some help, so they needed to sell her condo and make some money to help her pay for the new place. They got multiple offers over a few weeks and sold the condo over their asking price, thanks to Mark Dietel.
Listen, you have a lot of options in the real estate game, but there's only one agent that we recommend and trust here on the Hammer and Nigel show, and that's Mark Dietel. Because Mark Dietel has the guarantee. Mark Dietel can guarantee an offer in 3 days at full market value, or he will list it for free. Call Mark Dietel right now, 317-755-4232, or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com. Be sure to tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
The new year is here. Time for a change. Start a recession-resistant new career in the high-demand IT field with My Computer Career. In just months, already in IT? Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers nationwide are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus, and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill. Make this your year. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's my mycomputercareer.edu.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
He's a mean guy.
And Casey Daniels.
She's the nicest person I've ever met.
On 93 WIBC.
Who are on the road.
19 minutes after 11, you're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Let's take a look at some trending stories. Brad Pitt quietly listing his longtime LA compound. This isn't a house. This isn't a mansion. No, it's a compound for the low price of $40 million. I know you have that right there in your pocket.
Do you get to meet Brad Pitt as part of this?
Meet him? How about a night with him? I mean,
Well,
$40 million.
Casey,
Come on.
Whatever. Look, not that there's any. Whatever you do, you. How about that?
I didn't say what you had to do for the night. You could just, have a
sure.
meal or
Yes,
something. But yeah, $40 million. Also trending ahead of the pinkiest holiday of the year, Valentine's Day. Hershey's rolling out a slate of new products and seasonal favorites like the Hershey's Kisses chocolate dipped strawberry flavor. There's also going to be the Reese's peanut butter cup heart-shaped box. Also the Rolo creamy caramels and Hershey's milk chocolate hearts bars for the love of your life. And finally trending, Party City filing for Chapter 11.
What?
Yes. Well, I mean, can you imagine 2 years of lockdowns and not being able to have any fun or congregate and large groups of people, the place that makes their money off of party supplies.
Yeah, okay. I see it.
Filing for Chapter 11. Okay, so you want to talk about Mitch McConnell, huh?
Yes.
He said yesterday that he's not worried that a financial crisis could be looming due to a fight over the debt ceiling. He's confident the U.S. will never default on its debt.
Now, based on the words coming out, and by the way, I'd like to point out we have passed the Thursday deadline, and we're all still here. We're all still taking nourishment, and we all went to work today, and so I guess the Thursday deadline wasn't really much of a deadline, and well, now
it was a soft suggestion.
Now it's June. I've heard June, but then I love this. I read an article yesterday that said, well, due to Biden's actions on suspending student loan debt, it could be faster than June. Oh. So, because the president spent a bunch of money we don't have, the Republicans should just agree to raise the debt ceiling so we can spend a bunch more money we don't have. Somehow, Biden's illegal suspension of student loan debt is the problem of the people who are trying to get spending under control. Like, this is the crux of everything, right? Where you should just always raise the debt ceiling because we must pay our debts. Well, but they won't stop spending money. Doesn't matter. You should always raise the debt ceiling so we can pay our debts. But Mitch McConnell saying this is telling you everything we've been telling you, which is right now the words from the Republicans are, hey, we're going to get spending under control and we're going to fight and we're not even close on a debt ceiling agreement and this and that. Well, Mitch McConnell ain't sweating it. And if Mitch McConnell ain't sweating it, it's because Mitch McConnell knows how the cards are coming out of the deck. And the only way Mitch McConnell would know how the cards are coming out of the deck in the House of Representatives is if the guy who's in charge of dealing the cards, Kevin McCarthy, has told him how the cards are going to get dealt.
Gave him a little pat on the head and said, there, don't worry. Well, he was at University of Louisville, and Mitch McConnell did say during one of his events that, no, he's not concerned about a financial crisis. Of course, the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that she's going to resort to extraordinary measures so that we don't default on our debt payments. But then she went on to say that the suspension period will last through June. So it's a moving date. It's very fluid.
Casey, in one day, apparently she took extraordinary measures to not have anything bad happen for 5 months. That's really, these people, and we talked about this yesterday, this is what they do. They fearmonger, they deceive, they manipulate, they lie, and American people, because they're largely uninformed and largely apathetic, usually just roll over and go along with it.
Well, and she also said that the extraordinary measures can last. It's considerable uncertainty, which means it's a moving target.
Well, and the new word they have now is X date. That's the thing they're calling it. It's the X date. And they're saying, well, the X date might have to be moved up dramatically because of Biden's actions on student loan debt. So again, Biden did the thing that we're trying to stop. And because Biden did the bad thing, then we should do the other bad thing to make up for Biden doing the bad thing, that he's not going to stop doing the bad thing unless we don't do this thing.
Okay. Makes perfect sense. Do you want to talk about the Supreme Court or Al Gore? I'm going to let you pick your poison right now.
Let's talk about the Supreme Court real quick.
Okay, so they came out, they've been doing that investigation about the leak on the Roe v. Wade ruling that came out, and they said that they couldn't find anything.
Of course they couldn't, Casey.
Pretty much. That's what it is.
Of course. Okay, so it's not like we had 1,000 possible suspects here. There is a very finite group of people who would have had access to this and could have done this.
Yeah, they said possibly 100 employees.
And I guarantee you, if it had been something that the conservatives would have helped conservatives, they would have gone to the ends of the earth to find it. Now, here's what's interesting about this. I was reading a little bit about this investigation. It is not clear, and if it's not clear, it means it probably didn't happen, that these judges were in any way, shape, or form interviewed. And I have long thought that the judges, one of them, was probably, if not the actual leaker, him or herself, in cahoots with whoever did it. So look, when you look at, and we talked about this before, I think Elena Kagan is a pretty decent person. I disagree with her political philosophy, but I think she's a pretty decent person, and reasonable people can disagree, and she just has a different view of the role of government and what's constitutional, what's not. Fine. Someone like Sonia Sotomayor, she is an idiot, and she is a vengeful partisan person. And if you're not interviewing these judges, to me, every and by when I say these judges, I'm talking about every single one of them, all 9 of them, then you're not doing your job, because all 9 of those people on the left and the right, but let's face it, the left, I don't think it'd be Roberts, so the 3 lefties, and I don't think Breyer would do it, and I don't think Kagan would do it. Sonia Sotomayor, I'm looking at you. The fact that these judges were apparently not interviewed, well then, no, you're not probably going to find the leaker, because I think one of these judges, and have long thought, one of them either did it or certainly knows who did it.
So the investigators interviewed about 100 court employees, and 82 of them had access to electronic and even hard copies of the draft. But as you mentioned, they'll ask all of these 100 employees, but not the actual judges. And some of the employees admitted that they told their spouses about it, but they're not going to name who the actual leaker was. It's not necessarily a criminal offense, but it is an employment issue that they should find out who did it and take corrective action there.
All right, Casey, we got some more phone calls that we didn't get to the last segment.
Perfect.
And we don't want to let our audience down. Would it be all right if we get to some of those when we come back?
Sounds good to me.
Perfect.
Voicemail's on the way with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
It's Friday. That means you've got 2 days until Sunday. And this Sunday, if you're looking for a new church home or even a first church home, maybe that's been on your list of things to do in 2023, please consider checking out my friends at Life Church. There are many great things that I love about Life Church, but I think near the top of the list is how warm and welcoming they are. You'll feel like you're at home the moment you walk in the door. Life Church has campuses in Fishers, Noblesville, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, in addition to online services. Learn more at lifechurchin.com.
That inflatable reindeer in your yard could be an Easter reindeer, right? And Christmas in July is a thing, so you might as well leave the lights up until then? Whatever excuse you tell yourself, you know it's time to take down those decorations. If taking them down means storing them in your basement or crawl space, you might spend the next 11 months wondering if they'll stay dry enough to use next time. Nobody wants a soggy, moldy reindeer. You owe it to Rudolph to get in touch with Indiana Foundation Service. Indiana Foundation Service will waterproof your basement or crawl space. Waterproofing your basement or crawl space does more than just protect your stored belongings. It also protects the structural integrity of your home and improves the air you breathe. Give new meaning to a happy, healthy new year with a waterproofed basement or crawl space from Indiana Foundation Service. Schedule a free inspection at indianafoundation.com.
Indiana Foundation Service, reliability from the ground up.
Any heating and air conditioning problem you've got, we can take care of you. 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Learn how a Retire Shield plan from Crown Haven Wealth Advisors provides clear, straightforward retirement solutions that are custom tailored for you. This Sunday on WIBC from 9 to 10 a.m.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Calls for help from those inside the Walmart. I'm Parker Carlson. Here's what's trending at 11:30. 911 calls have been released from the active shooter in an Evansville Walmart last night. Be warned, this could be hard to hear.
Evansville 911. We're at Westside Walmart. There's an active shooter. Active shooter 911.
Police confirmed that the shooter was 25-year-old Ronald Mosley and that he shot one victim.
How many shots have been fired? One. He shot a girl in the head. He shot in the head.
The victim was taken into hospital, but there are no updates yet on her condition. Citing changes in the economy, Google's parent company Alphabet is cutting 12,000 jobs. Microsoft said a similar thing Wednesday as they announced 10,000 job cuts across their worldwide businesses. Both companies say that the jobs were added during dramatic growth the past couple of years during the pandemic, but now that things have cooled down, the jobs are no longer necessary. I'm Parker Carlson, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe.
Our number 317-684-8444 with your questions, comments, and smart remarks. It's time for your voicemails. 11:32 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Yeah, sometimes we throw in an extra segment of voicemails on Friday because it's the last day we'll get to talk to you in the week, and there were a lot of good voicemails. So, Casey, yesterday we had talked about people not being taught and understanding history, and we talked about this related to obviously, when Lisa Marie Presley passed away, Graceland has been willed to her 3 living children, her daughters. And we had talked about, we have no idea about whether the importance of Graceland, the importance of her father, what that means to so many people was instilled on those people, on her children. And as such, what will become of Graceland? Will they sell off their shares when you've got 3 people owning something? How does all of that work? And it's more and more younger generations are not taught the importance of hanging on to things, family heirlooms, things that were important to the people who came before, as a way to be able to tell the stories of people who came before. And we are literally just erasing history. And if you don't understand history, you're doomed to repeat history. And so we got a call about that.
Hey, guys. Michael from Carmel. My second call today, which is unusual. Rob is so dead on about history. I bet you 90% of the high school graduates and even college graduates couldn't tell you where Normandy is or what date D-Day was. And probably 0.001% of the population can name you the 5 beaches, which are Utah, Omaha, Gold, Sword, and Juneau. So this history thing is very important, but these people today don't know diddly squat.
Operation Overlord.
Yeah, and if you know, and it's deliberate, right? Because if you know history and if you revere history and you cherish history, then you are more apt to understand the mistakes of previous people and previous generations and what has worked and what has not worked. And more importantly, you know how special liberty and freedom and self-reliance was to the people who made this country what it was. And the left clearly does not want that. And the fastest way to do that is to eradicate that from the lexicon of future generations.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet if you were to ask young people, even, hey, what do you know about Richard Nixon?
Right.
They may say something like Watergate.
Right.
But do they know that he was one of the most popular presidents ever?
Right.
His approval ratings were through the roof. He won re-election by a very wide margin, biggest margin before or since. But they're holding on to one little thing.
And one of the major parts of this, and my dad has been really good about this in terms of family history, is when you understand, and I'm not just talking about your grandfather, but I'm talking about generations that came before, the sacrifices that those people made, it first of all, it gives you a much greater appreciation for what you have and how easy you have it, but you also develop a certain understanding of the things that mattered and the things that were important to the people who made it possible for you to be here. And those things are really special. And like we were talking about, we see fewer and fewer people who really, really engage in that sort of understanding of what came before. More people, Casey, wanted to talk about the moon. And of course, we were totally right. The moon rises in the east and sets in the west. And that lady who was very, well, I don't know if she was mean. I don't know if that's the right word, but she was adamant, yes, that we were just totally wrong and didn't know anything. Well, I noticed she hasn't called back either. But somebody else did call about the moon.
Hey, this is Russ. I'm 69. I've been listening to your moon and sun topic. There are multiple times during the year that both the moon and the sun are out during the daytime. Has this lady that you were talking about never seen that? Just thought I'd throw that out. Thanks. Bye.
No. This all started from Chelsea Handler.
Yeah.
Saying that she was too old to admit she never knew they were two separate celestial bodies.
Right. Which, again, would raise the questions we have talked about. You will be able to see the moon going down as the sun is coming up at certain times of the year, etc. How did you think that happened? And, again, when you see the sun going up and the moon going down, which was this lady who called, it was like she was so adamant. I thought maybe I'm just totally missing something here, which is a good reminder that people can convince you you're wrong and you go with your own facts rather than what somebody else tells you, because clearly that lady was the only one who didn't have any idea what she was talking about, and we were totally right. All right, that's the end of the moon conversation. If you call about the moon going forward,
good night, moon.
We're not going to play any more moon phone calls. One other call, I forgot what it was. Kevin, surprise me.
Hey, guys, talking about actors. This is Michael from Carmel. To quote President Joe Biden, I only have one word. Actor Dustin Hoffman. One word. Thanks. Bye.
See what he did there?
I get it.
Yeah, we of course, we were talking about the Mount Rushmore of actors, and is Harrison Ford the greatest actor of all time in the sense of, repeated commercial success, repeated roles that have been hits, maybe not in terms of just straight acting, but when you put it all together, and we were throwing other names out there like Tom Cruise or Robert De Niro, and we did not have Dustin Hoffman on the list. He's got to be on there in terms of repeated, sustained success. And in the case of Dustin Hoffman, unlike a Harrison Ford or Tom Cruise, who are not great actors, Dustin Hoffman is a great actor.
Right. And somebody else had mentioned Clint Eastwood.
Yes.
And then
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis was one. But would you consider Tom Cruise a great actor or a great movie star?
No, that's what I'm saying. Tom Cruise is not an actor. He's a movie star. Bruce Willis I get hung up on because he was so good in The Sixth Sense, which involved acting. That was actual acting. But then, like, most of his movies are movie star type movies, although he was good in Moonlighting too, which was acting.
He was good in Pulp Fiction.
I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. Robert De Niro, actor. Dustin Hoffman, actor. But Tom Cruise, Harrison Ford, movie stars.
You don't think Harrison Ford's a good actor?
No, I think
consider him more of a.
I think he's a movie star. I think his roles generally, while he is good at being a movie star in a variety of roles, there's never been a Harrison Ford role where I would say I can't picture anyone else other than Harrison Ford being that person.
Han Solo?
No, I can picture a whole bunch of people. There's
really?
Okay, Casey, Godfather. Can you picture anyone other than Marlon Brando being the Godfather?
No.
Rain Man. Can you picture anyone other than Dustin Hoffman being Rain Man?
Oh, boy. No, because it's just so
exactly
ingrained.
And it's an incredibly challenging role to play. You can picture 100 people being Indiana Jones. You can picture 100 people being the fugitive.
I can't picture anybody else being Indiana Jones.
There's no acting involved in that. That's a movie star. There's no acting
that's
involved.
Harrison Ford.
Because you saw him as you could have made 100 other people Indiana Jones. Doesn't mean they would have been as good as Harrison Ford. No, but not every one of them. But you could have had other people be Indiana Jones. All right. Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis could have been Indiana Jones. It's just an action guy where a guy's running away from things, cracking a whip.
I don't know. Harrison Ford just has that. It's that.
Well, you love Harrison Ford. You're enamored with Harrison Ford. We all know that. Well, you're biased.
I mean, he's Indiana Jones and he's Han Solo.
Yeah, exactly. You're biased. But I'm saying in terms of actual acting, when we're talking about Raging Bull, could you picture anybody other than Robert De Niro being Raging Bull? That is an incredible acting job by Robert De Niro.
No, but you know what? Going back to the Indiana Jones thing, you know the scene where the guy has the big knife and he's ready to get in the fight and Indiana Jones just takes out the gun and says, this is over. That was all impromptu. And that was Harrison Ford who did that.
You couldn't picture Bruce Willis pulling out a gun and pulling the trigger?
I don't know.
That's the whole Die Hard movie is funny stuff after he kills people.
I don't know if Bruce Willis would have done that, and if he would have done it, would it have been as good, and would it have made it into the movie? Would they have edited it out?
Kevin.
Yeah. You were talking about Robert De Niro.
Yes.
Have you seen Taxi Driver?
Oh, yes.
Big fan.
Another one.
Meet the Parents.
Okay, a bunch of people could have been Meet the Parents, Kevin. You were moving in a strong direction. You are now moving out of the strong direction.
You know that character?
You could also say, like, what's the Cape Fear? Robert De Niro is phenomenal in Cape Fear, and that is a phenomenal acting job to turn yourself into the Max Cady character.
So maybe
you are letting your lust for Harrison Ford cloud your judgment over his actual acting ability.
Maybe we need to put Robert De Niro on the list. Hey, I just read something yesterday that I didn't know. Part of Rain Man, because you mentioned Rain Man, was filmed in Indiana?
I did not know that. I didn't know that. I had no idea.
Yeah. I'm gonna maybe I'll write about that today.
Perfect. Well, that's kind of cool too, because you were also talking about Richard Dreyfuss yesterday, and we were talking about Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
Well, that's set in Muncie, Indiana.
Was that
Yeah,
filmed
that's right.
in Muncie?
Yes, it was.
I don't know if it was actually filmed there, but it was set
okay.
there. But yeah, I mean, Indiana's a popular place.
And if we're going to talk about underrated, underappreciated actors, Craig T. Nelson has to be at the top of the list.
Who?
Craig T. Nelson. Poltergeist, Coach.
Okay.
I think you're going to have to do a little more mentoring session.
Really? Nothing?
Kevin, you're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show Beer Sample Friday. We've been waiting for it all week. It happens today, 3 to 7, 93 WIBC.
Sweetheart, sugar, cutie pie, love is sweet. Your Valentine's Day gift should be too. Visit Shane Company for unique fine jewelry. It's a great way to show your special someone how well you know them and that you love everything about them. With our amazing selection of colorful gemstones, why not select a style with their favorite color? We have natural sapphires in every color of the rainbow, rubies as red as a rose, topaz as blue as the sky. Or tell your love story with a charm necklace. Choose from dozens of symbolic charms. Get a zodiac charm because your stars are aligned, or a compass charm because you're on a journey together. You could also select an engravable style, like a beautiful locket or a gold bar necklace. We'll inscribe a message on it, a love note to your Valentine. At Shane Company, we have so many easy ways to make your gift more personal. For more ideas, talk to a jewelry consultant today. Your Valentine's Day gift will be a treat.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Doing more in the community means that I get out and I volunteer.
Hi, I'm Hannah Yeagerbush here at Teachers Treasures, and we nominated David Barabee because he's such a great volunteer leader. He does so much for us to make our mission possible to serve teachers in Marion County.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are proud to support Hoosier charities that use their vehicles to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
My vehicle really allows me the ability to be where they need me. Either downtown, at the store, or out on a route, or working for the mobile operator.
Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides all of our Do More winners with free vehicle maintenance for a year. Because now at Jiffy Lube, our trained technicians do more to keep vehicles like theirs and yours on the road. Brakes, tires, batteries, and more. As well as Indiana's favorite oil change since 1985.
Jiffy Lube accepts competitors' coupons, so you don't have to choose between saving a few dollars versus treating your vehicle to Jiffy Lube's award-winning service. Click on JiffyLubeIndiana.com for a Jiffy Lube near you.
Mark Dietl's the only real estate agent I trust to sell my home. Maybe you're looking to downsize. Mike in Greenwood was. The kids were out of the house, and they were ready to get a smaller place. Now, they were concerned they missed the boat on a big price, but after meeting with Mark Dietl, he had the confidence that he could get the price they needed, and he did. Can't underestimate Mark. He closed the deal within weeks, and now Mike is moving on with money in the bank, thanks to Mark Dietl.
You have a lot of options in the real estate game, but there's only one agent that we recommend and trust here on the Hammer and Nigel show, and that's Mark Dietl, because Mark Dietl has the guarantee. Mark Dietl can guarantee an offer in 3 days at full market value, or he will list it for free. Call Mark Dietl right now, 317-755-4232, or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com. Be sure to tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-200-1966. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-200-1966. That's 800-200-1966 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
I'd rather be folding laundry.
This is gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Baird Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
What? Okay, two things.
Yeah.
First of all, before you answer, I'm just going to ask the question. I can't believe you're... Well, that's more of a statement. So let me make a statement. Then I'm going to make a statement to Kevin.
Okay.
I can't believe you're paying $4 for a carton of eggs.
Yeah, that's what they cost.
I'm also very disappointed in you that I told you I wanted to hear My Back Pages by the Byrds, and you had an entire show to get that in, and you were playing who knows what half that crap was.
Okay.
And you did not get,
that was Ohio.
I know what that one was.
Oh, okay.
I feel, well, that by the way, is I think that's the best Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young song.
Well, I'm not arguing, but I had one request.
I do feel really bad about that.
Do you feel slighted?
I think I'm going to have to make it up for you.
Well, no, it's fine. I mean, I know you didn't do it intentionally, although I told you for the end, I'd like to hear My Back Page, and you said, no, I already have my song that I'm going to play. So,
well, you know what? On Monday, we'll start the day off with that song.
Oh.
And then we're going to make the rest of the day Harry Chapin Day, just for you.
No, we're not.
All right, so let's talk about you paying $4 for a carton of eggs. Why are you doing this?
That's what they cost.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, why are you giving in? Why are you not?
What do you want me to do? Go without eggs?
Well, yeah, what would happen if you went without eggs? What would be the worst thing?
I can't have my brownies because it takes one egg.
Okay,
in the brownie mix.
Yeah, okay, so
along with the vegetable oil and the water.
This is the thing. Remember, my wife and I had this conversation several months ago, in which it was like $93 for her to make a batch of brownies that we could have bought at the store for like $2, or maybe not $2, but not $90. Why don't you just buy the brownies?
Because I don't know. It's the brownie.
Do you
mix.
enjoy making them?
It's all right. It doesn't take long. It's like a 5-minute process.
So because the excuse
put it all together and throw it in the oven.
The excuse I got was I really enjoy making them. It's like a hobby for me, and then I felt really bad because I was like,
"Oh no, it's not like that."
I was
I enjoy
challenging my wife in her
them.
hobby. Okay, so you don't like look forward to making the brownies?
No, but I like eggs. I like a little egg sandwich. Get a little toasted bagel and put an egg on there with some cheese.
Yeah.
That's good. I like scrambled eggs and over easy eggs. I know you don't like eggs.
Not really, though.
much.
I did today. I uncovered that McDonald's has 2 Egg McMuffins for $5.
Has the price of your Egg McMuffin gone up?
Well, that's more. It used to be 2 for $4. But I did feel like, given that I think a regular Egg McMuffin is like $3.50 or something, that seemed like a good value. So I took advantage of it. However, your carton of eggs cost almost as much as my 2 Egg McMuffins, which includes everything, and it took me no effort whatsoever other than to press the little kiosk thing and then slide my card in.
Well, my carton of eggs will last longer than one meal, though.
Yeah, but you got to work for it. There was no work for me waltzing into that McDonald's, clicking the little kiosk thing, and then sliding my card in, and then they read my number.
So egg prices are up 60%, but have you seen the memes that are going around with the egg in a jewelry box?
Yes.
He went to Kroger.
Yes. So that would be, let's see, so there's 12 eggs in a thing, right? It's a dozen eggs.
Yes.
So for $4, you would get 3 eggs for $1. Is that right? Yeah, I'm right on that. So it'd be 3 eggs for $1. So you're paying 33 cents an egg.
Yeah.
I'm not paying 33 cents an egg. I'm drawing the line on that. I would pay 10 cents an egg. I would give you 10 cents for an egg.
But not 33.
I would not do 33 cents for an egg.
Attempts to smuggle eggs into the United States from Mexico and Canada.
What are you saying?
Is on the rise.
You can't bring an egg in from Mexico?
People are trying to smuggle in eggs, and you can be fined up to $10,000 for doing that.
Wait. We got to go back. You cannot bring an egg. Like if you go to Mexico, and let's say you have relatives that live in Mexico, and they have chickens, and they say, "Here's our prize chicken laid an egg for you." You could be subject to ramifications from the federal government?
Yes, the Department of Agriculture says that egg and poultry seizures have risen by 108%. just in the past 3 months alone.
Why would the government care if you bring an egg back from Mexico? What possible reason other than just to be awful and horrific, which I get that's what government does most. Why would they care if you bring an egg back from Mexico?
I don't know why, but it's one of those things you have to declare. And the Customs and Border Protection people said they've recently noticed an increase in the number of eggs intercepted at our ports of entry.
So you're telling me that if I went to Mexico and I came back from Mexico and they would say, do you have anything to declare? I would say, yes, this egg.
A carton of eggs. Yeah.
And would they let me have it in if I declared it? If I said, here's my carton of eggs? Would they say, no, you cannot come into the country with those eggs?
I don't know. There's some things that you can't bring into the country, some foods and...
Is it like I see on Patrol Live sometimes, the cops will pull someone over who has an open container of liquor, but they're not drinking it. They're not drunk. And they will just say, bro, I can't let you roll down the road with that. You got to toss that out. They're like, oh, man, it was like $20. Well, would you rather go to jail? No, I'll toss the liquor. And then the guy cries as he pours out his bottle of vodka or whatever. Is it like that? You must smash these eggs at the border, or like, do you go to jail if you have the egg? Will they allow you to pour out your eggs like they would the liquor on Patrol Live?
Well, you got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet, don't you?
Yeah.
So
I just can't believe you're willing to pay that.
I don't want to pay it. It's not like I'm excited. You know, going to the grocery store used to be an okay experience.
Yeah.
Now it's becoming depressing.
The egg people are forcing you? Like, are they holding a gun when you go down the egg aisle? You must buy these eggs?
I'm not the only person who's purchasing eggs.
No, I understand, but you're the only person here who's purchasing eggs. Because I guarantee when Kevin goes to his Russian deli and is buying Cyber Tiger or whatever that is that you buy at the Russian deli, you're not saying, hey, throw me some eggs in there.
Hey, you mentioned...
I usually just get bologna.
At the deli.
Yeah.
At the high-end
also,
deli.
Pierogies, too. They're pretty good.
You're a food snob, aren't you? I'm just going to call it like I see it. You're a foodie. You're a food snob.
Yeah, I prefer foodie, yes.
Kevin
very much so.
But Kevin is a world traveler, and I would expect that. And it's why Kevin and I, when we have our little mentoring sessions, we talk about different things we've done in our lives.
I'm a world traveler too, Rob.
Yeah, Casey is a world traveler.
I've been out of the country.
You didn't live there. You didn't he lived in Germany. He went to school in Germany. I would expect Kevin has done horrific, awful, terrible, undescribable things to himself because he studied abroad.
Casey is a world traveler too. We are all, well, you're not a world traveler.
No, I am not. I do not leave the greater central Indiana area at this point. So you would expect Rob is incredibly boring and has never done anything to himself that he's outwardly ashamed of. I've done some things that were not good for me, but nothing I was outwardly ashamed of. You two, on the other hand, if you had not done something, if you have traveled abroad, I would be very disappointed. What a great way to wrap up our show.
Oh, I've done some bad stuff, Rob. I really, really have. Living my penance every single day.
Smuggling eggs over the border.
Thank you, Rob. Good job, Kevin, and thank you for listening. We're going to count on you to be back here Monday. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Have a wonderful weekend.
When you hear Diamonds Direct, it's not just a catchy name designed to give the illusion of value. Our name is who we really are. Diamonds Direct was started by diamond cutters a quarter of a century ago. At our very core is a commitment to cut out the middleman and deliver extreme value in exquisite diamonds. Today, that's more true than ever, with our direct access to diamonds straight from the mines. Diamonds that we then cut and polish. Exquisite diamonds up to 15 and 20 carats in all shapes and sizes. It's an advantage other jewelers only dream of. By overseeing the entire process, we know for a fact Diamonds Direct is truly direct. So this year, as value becomes more important than ever, rest assured that Diamonds Direct's unique status in the world diamond market guarantees you the best no middleman direct importer price, period. And even with this extreme value promise, at Diamonds Direct you still get an unbeatable selection, transparent education, a luxurious shopping experience, superior customer service, no compromises. It's not having a cool name or clever advertising, it's the truth. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. If I'm going to be at my best, I have to talk out my problems, like really dig in. It's work, but when I'm doing the work, everything clicks. I sleep like I should, exercise, eat right, and I'm generally an all right person to be around. This is why therapy has been so integral in helping me develop healthy mental health. I mean, talking to my therapist just alleviates so much anxiety. If you're thinking about trying therapy out, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient and flexible because everything is online. It's also affordable. Just go to BetterHelp.com, fill out the questionnaire. You'll be matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time at no additional charge. It's really easy, so convenient. If you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can get you there. Visit BetterHelp.com/WIBC today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/WIBC.
Home shows provide homeowners the deepest discounts of the year on remodeling projects. And right now, Window Nation is bringing the home show savings right into your house. 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, no limit. Plus, pay no interest for 60 months.
Use their free virtual visualizer at windownation.com/home show. Upload a picture of your house and try out hundreds of options online. Get design tips from the experts and learn how Window Nation's trained installation specialists have helped over 150,000 homes with over 96% customer satisfaction rates. But remember, these once-a-year home show savings are for a very limited time. Call Window Nation today, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com/home show.